Okay. Last time you escaped from the larger Zicarite crypt after a rather large explosion. You rescued Trevor, brought him back to Norhau, and then had an encounter with a rather short and standoffish lady who at the time I described as a cardinal, I believe. They are in fact an ordinal. That is a retcon.
Mm.
Because we have changed the structure of the church slightly now that people are actually invested in how it looks.
Ordinal.
Ordinal.
Service book. Service book.
What?
Historical Christian Church. A service book.
Oh, no. No, no. Don't look at that definition. It's no good.
Don't pay attention to that.
Don't pay attention to that one. No. And after that, you were left to your own devices somewhat.
Like 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Let's see. So Zigger has investigated the church and mapped out its hierarchy and tried to identify the cardinal within that, or the ordinal, I should say, within that structure. And if I can find my phone, because that's where I took the picture, I will put a thing in the Discord. That's not the right Discord.
Did you just post in some other random Discord?
I almost did. I hope that is not too blurry, because my phone is quite old. That's quite blurry, but I think it's clear enough.
It is fairly blurry, and also doesn't have any names.
No, it doesn't have any names.
Well,
I
that
think
was
that's intentional.
that was like
You are correct.
That was like like 20% of what I asked for was like names, bios, like obviously that's a pain in the ass for you as a DM.
You're right,
But
it
like
is.
but then theoretically like I could know it in character without you knowing it or me knowing it out of character.
You have the identities of the cardinals at the top. Those are very easy to find. Everyone below that is generally not considered worth distributing as a specific name unless you're in the circles that they are also moving in. Because on a certain level, they're all kind of, even though they're in a hierarchy, they're all kind of equivalent. What with the whole collectivist ideology and everything.
Yeah, I just like if they don't circulate newsletters or anything like that that would put them on the radar. That like Sister Mary, led a project this month, feeding the homeless of so and so city. We'd like to thank her for her performance to the gods or something. I don't know, that sort of nonsense where it's just like constantly like self-aggrandizing.
Sure.
I mean, I just like it doesn't unless they're deliberately going out of their way to be secretive about their organization, which doesn't seem like it would be the case based off what you've told us so far. There wouldn't be any reason why Ziga couldn't get that information.
No, let's say that it might take a little more digging than you had readily available to you in the university to get the specific names. You could go to specific places and ask to see a person in a specific position, and then you would probably pretty quickly learn who they are.
Yeah, I was just kind of picturing that. Like when you go, have you been to a library in the last like 15 years or whatever?
Yes.
And if you want to, you can actually get on a computer at the library, and they have a specific program that allows you to view newspaper articles that are about like figures within the city or the state or whatever. And you can like using the internet obviously, but I would imagine that there would be some sort of equivalent type scenario at the university. for that exact same sort of thing. And that's how I kind of figured Zigga was like doing his research. He was in the university, like mapping out all these things from articles and everything like that, assembling a uh, um, almost like a conspiracy board pinup type thing of like the hierarchy of the church.
Sure.
That's what I had in my head, and of not just names and like job titles and everything like that, but also like things we should know about them, like notable features, what they're do they have any particular unique quirks that have become public knowledge, or all that kind of stuff.
Fair enough. I had 1 week and a day job.
Yeah, no. I'm not.
So I don't have that for you, I'm afraid.
I'm making the distinction between what I think that I should potentially know in
Yeah.
character versus what I need to know out of character, which, to be perfectly honest, I don't need to know shit out of character.
Yes, yeah, you probably have some more information than is immediately present, but hopefully this gives some information to kind of shape how that looks in your mind.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Chris was a bit more invested in himself. Quite literally. And has begun investing a significant amount in inking himself.
Yep, he already is inked, but more inking.
Yeah,
lol.
he's inking even harder.
Ink to ink harder.
Yes, ink to Bud the Chud. And to that end, he needs to make a crafting check.
Oh boy, this could suck.
Is Chris straying off the rightful path?
Was Chris ever on the rightful fucking path?
I don't know. That's a good question. Was he?
It depends on who you're asking, I think.
I'm asking. I mean, I guess I'm asking Chris.
He's doing fine.
Okay, I see.
No, you motherfucker!
You know, doing well in school, that kind of thing.
Such a bitch.
It's fine because that only represents 4 days worth of work, so you can try again.
Yeah, I know, and it's gonna fail, isn't it? Look at this. No, oh, that's a crit success.
That's a crit success. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hooray.
So 4 of your 14 days were spent failing. A further 4 were spent succeeding.
Yep.
Leaving you with
do I really
6.
have time for anything else?
You have 6 days remaining.
So I can reduce the cost by what? Like, oh, it depends. You have to pass checks over and over again.
You don't have to pass checks over and over again. It's your level, which is 2 plus 1, which is 3 by your proficiency. 5 silver a day.
I may as well just do that, I think, at this point. So that's what, 3.5 gold?
3 gold.
3 gold?
Yeah.
3 gold. Woo. Yeah, okay, cool. I spent my downtime doing absolutely nothing helpful for the party. Boom!
Just drawing scribbles on yourself.
Yeah, he's just got a biro and is just...
It's so... Do you know how expensive it is to make a goddamn tattoo? Holy hell.
It's really expensive.
It's fucking...
It's really interesting that, like, we have 2 different people in the party that work with ink.
Yes, we do, yeah.
Wait, do we?
Yeah, Zigga's a printer. He makes propaganda.
Why don't you work together and just use like the printing press on your body, just with needles instead of blocks? That'll work out well, right?
I mean, I guess
Yes.
I guess technically it could, but that would.
But
be weird.
yeah, no. As an aside, the tattoo is homebrew because they've made tattoo artist as a feat, which I wanted to take because he's already got like arcane tattoos and all this crap. But it gives you 4 recipes essentially for level 2 or lower tattoos, none of which exist.
There aren't any.
Which is really stupid. So instead, we've made one up. It's not overpowered or anything. It's really not. It's kind of memey.
There are actually no tattoos in existence right now.
Level 2 or lower? No.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, no, fair enough.
There's level 3 and higher, which is really great when they give you a fucking feat that gives you level 2 or lower fucking recipes. Level 3 tattoos, by the way, start at 50 gold.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
We did
It's
some.
like one crafting.
We
at
did
that point.
we did some interpolation to get to a reasonable price for the lower level ones.
Yeah, yeah. It's costing me 15 gold. Yikes.
All of your level 1 gold.
Well, it's half of that technically because I'm crafting it and spending time.
Sure, yeah.
I think now it's down to what, 4.5 gold?
Yeah.
But I don't have 4.5 gold spare after spending 7.5 gold starting to make the damn thing.
Yeah. Plus the 2 gold spent getting the toolkit to do it.
Yep.
B. B was involved in.
So before you go into this,
Oh.
based on what I talked to you about, would there be up to you? Would there be a reason for me to potentially roll stealth on this
What for?
to hide it from the others?
No, you can just do that. I think.
Okay, sure. So I'll go off. I'll have B go off on her own way and maybe just not be explicit with the others about what she was doing.
Are you still
But
gonna?
out of character, you can describe that. That's fine. It's whatever.
Okay. B's been trying to figure out who in the church is safe to talk to after the talking to that you got last time.
Yes.
Given B's father, Aldrich, was a pious man himself, there was thinking that maybe they had some contacts. Could you do me a religion check, please? A recall knowledge religion.
Not particularly great at that, but let's see what happens.
You know what? Do me a society as well. We'll take the higher of the two.
That one is worse.
Well, you know, you could roll high.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't roll high. Okay. Well, you have remembered. You have remembered someone. You have remembered one Enoch Federschmutz, who was a correspondent of your father's.
Sure.
That visited every now and then. And they were involved with fuck, I've forgotten the names that I've given everything. This has so many names in it now.
I hope they haven't retired since. Actually, that might not be a huge problem. If they're not dead.
Yeah.
That
That
might
would be an ideal.
That would be an ideal. No, they were, last you heard, a priest of Secundus working out of Agaton, which I'll bring us over to the world map so you can see where that is. That is fairly local to Flaxfeld.
Okay. So if we're ever in the area, I guess. Gotcha. What was the name just so I can take it down?
Enoch Federschmutz. It's on the pictures I put in the Discord.
You say. Okay, that sounded different to me for a second. I heard fetish butts.
Fetish butts? No, it's not. It's not fetish, but I mean, you can call him that if you want, but he probably wouldn't appreciate
No,
it.
I don't think I will.
No.
Maybe out of character.
Maybe.
That wouldn't be very. I'm sure he's an upstanding fellow.
Yeah, you think so, yeah. And Chris, you probably remember them as well, though maybe not immediately if B's keeping this secret, as they did.
Sure.
They did visit the Flaxfeld a couple of times, and you are old enough to have remembered that.
Sure.
And finally, Tulip.
Yes.
Yes.
Tulip got a bit of work as was it baker?
Yes.
You were selling pies and such, I believe?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Could you do me a... Oh.
Gladly.
What? Did you have a bakery law?
I have a farming lore. I
You
don't
have a
think I
farming
bakery.
law. You don't have a cooking law. Do me a crafting check then. Oh wait, are you making it or are you selling it?
I'm making and selling.
Hmm.
I think feels appropriate.
Yeah. And diplomacy as well.
Oh no. Oh,
no,
much better.
Tulip's
good at
okay at
diplomacy.
diplomacy. Yeah, okay. So your pies are fine.
Cool.
They're edible. They don't make people ill. But you're really good at selling them.
Marketing is key.
Marketing is key. Marketing is absolutely key.
Tom, you know the days like we're partially spending our time making money in this, right,
Mhm.
to live on. Can I do the crafting check for her, or at least help? Is that a thing? I have a +8 on it, but like
Yeah, you can help, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm actually any better at it. So
I think I have a 7 on mine. Hang on.
oh
I'll-
wow, damn, you have
yeah,
high crafting.
yeah, I'll poke it again, but I think, yeah.
Yeah, so 7.
Yeah, legit. No, never mind. Ignore me. It's not really much of a bonus. I didn't know that you were trained in crafting. I wasn't expecting that. Fair play.
So in the crafting time specifically spent trying to sell shit, you've once taken out the cost of making and living, you've made 1.5 gold.
Yay.
Yeah.
But also, you have had a repeat visitor to the stall in Trevor,
Oh.
who has not been looking great.
I was waiting for who has fallen desperately in love with you.
I mean, he's fond, but he's not simping or anything. He probably doesn't have the energy to simp from the look of him because he looks like he hasn't slept in yes.
It might be the suspension bridge effect, if anything.
I'm not familiar.
When you're in a when you're in a position of great stress, you kind of attribute the stress to infatuation, I believe it was.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
you're with someone else at the time.
Sure.
And Tulip ask him if he's okay.
Yes. And he is not. He gives a big sigh and is like, "No, I haven't slept for 3 days."
Alright, I guess we're turning this little pie stand into the fucking therapy stand from Charlie Brown. Let's go.
And I'm not going to read that out. And yeah, he's been having nightmares every time he falls asleep. He's been having nightmares, and he doesn't feel like they're his nightmares.
Can Tulip try and get him to describe what he's seeing so she can write it down?
Yeah, he will describe just like some really awful and nonsensical shit that doesn't seem to have any continuity at all.
Has he talked to the college about this already?
He has, and they don't really have a way of helping him. Or maybe they don't have time. They won't help him either way. He's not really sure.
So, okay, like, as siblings, air quote siblings and all that good stuff, can we, like, kind of try and maybe rally together, get this guy at, like, a tavern, get him a drink so we can figure out what the fuck maybe B or Chris can check him for, like, arcane shit?
Tulip, you're a baker. Just get him baked.
Listen, that shit's not legal here.
You don't
And
have
Chris
to
doesn't
tell
have a
him.
stash anymore.
Yeah, I was about to say, no way does Chris not have something to do with that. Oh no. Okay. I mean, are you going to ask everyone to help him out, or?
I mean, I can throw in a bullshit Arcana check to see if I can get an idea of what the fuck is going on, but...
I don't think it's actually an Arcana check. My guess is it would be like a medicine check. Or something along those lines. Am I right, Tom, that it's actually like a mental fatiguey thing, or?
That is certainly an assumption you can make.
Yeah.
One way to put it.
I mean, he did get like kind of impaled in the head with crystals, so I figure Arcana might make a little bit more sense in this case.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's fair.
I'm going to bring us back to know-how for now.
Let's see the savant.
The savant. Should I make the roll, Tom?
You can, if you want to make the roll, you can make the roll.
I'm just Tulip's just side-eyeing him at this point.
You can always try and do a thing.
There's the savant.
There's the savantism, yeah.
Lol.
As far as you know, it is perfectly plausible that having several hundred shards of crystal embedded in your back could do something funky, especially when those crystals are part of a magical explosion. Tulip's lack of immediate, experience familiarity with the arcane kind of prohibits any real detail.
Oh.
But
If you catch Chris, I might actually have a relevant feat even for this. I think oddity identification. I gain a +2 circumstance bonus to occultism checks to identify magic with the mental possession, prediction, or scrying traits. I don't know whether that could apply here, because if it is magic, it's probably mental. If it's making him have bad dreams.
Yeah, Tulip would have gotten the gang together anyways for their opinions on this, so Chris should totally be able to take a look at him.
I imagine everyone's swinging by the store for lunch anyway, because family discount.
5-finger discount.
Well, that's a whole different discount.
That's a different discount, and you can't apply multiple discounts to the. That's against the store policies. So
Of course, retail law.
Chris stumbles out of his room with what is essentially a very angry looking red arm.
yeah, just dripping blood as he walks down the street.
And he's not dripping blood, but it's okay. Sort of probably stood there eating a pie while you're talking to this guy and sort of eyeing what's going on.
You're all wrapped up in that cling film that they put on.
Do I get that circumstance bonus? Because I need to know that before I make the roll, which is awkward. I've always thought this feat is really weird because it tells me whether it's one of those things. If I get the what?
It doesn't.
You could always just roll it and then Tom will add it if.
I will modify.
Yeah,
it
sure. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, can I? Does occultism? I'll try occultism here.
Okay.
I'll try. I may as well. Oh, sugar. I need to up my level on this sheet.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to ask everyone to do. Could you, assuming everyone's done their level 2 sheet, could you do me a favor, all of you, and send me a link to it again, and then I'm gonna fucking ask Rev to put it in one of the important stuff channels, because I keep losing them.
Oh my shitting Christ!
Holy fuck!
I can do a check today, boy.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
You double crit that, actually.
Oh my god.
It's the
Not
pies.
bad.
It's the pies.
It's the pies. The pies are full of magical occult knowledge.
Yep.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely a mental effect.
Yeah.
Not only is this absolutely a mental effect, but actually the fact that it's happened to him subsequent to the only magical thing that's happened to him being a big explosion with that crystal, it's kind of given you an insight on those crystals.
Okay.
So those big crystals, they, you reckon, are storing the memories of those later rests beside them.
Oh. Huh. Interesting. Okay. So any one of that what do you call it? People, I suppose, that race, if it was a race.
Culture, yeah.
Yeah, so were they burial sites sort of then, and they
yes, they were.
Okay.
So the culture you were informed in the packet that Gaius gave you was very afraid of death. And one of the ways they culturally mitigated that was storing all of their memories, to wit, their personhood, when they died.
Oh my god, they're all AIs with an uplink.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how many people here have played Psychonauts 2, but Otto Mentalis' big brain dome.
Okay, interesting.
So they, yeah, so he's been given their memories.
Forcefully, yes.
Yeah, he's had them like implanted in his brain. That's
In a very violent and uncontrolled way as well.
yeah, that ain't great.
No.
I mean, do I explain that to him, or do I just like take everyone aside and let them know that at some point? No, I mean, no. Chris will sort of, I guess, have a brainwave while eating a pie with a very sore arm.
There's just gravy dribbling from the corner of his mouth. He's like, oh shit, son.
Does the university have a mind flayer on retainer?
No. No. Mostly because I'm fairly sure mind flayers are copyright of wizards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
they're a brain octopi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is this like IC stuff we're doing right now, or is this still DT? Like, what's going on?
This is icy, but during downtime, I guess.
Sure. So he'll sort of finish off what he's eating. You mustn't talk with your mouth full or whatever. I don't
Nope.
know. And sort of walk up. What was his name again? Trevor.
Trevor.
Walk up to Trevor and say, I think I know what's going on with your dreams. I know that sounds really weird when I say it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is like a best guess thing, and you might want to like check this over in the records. But the race, whatever they were called, the culture that the burial sites were for, they buried all their dead next to the crystal.
Yeah.
You've got some weird looking mental magic on you, I think. So I think basically, this is my guess. The memories of the people who died next to the crystal were meant to be stored in it. So I think it's like literally embedded their memories in you. I don't know what you can really do about that.
Fuck.
Yeah, you might want to be someone who's a lot more versed in mental magic than I am to maybe get those taken out.
Oh man, I just want to go to bed.
Yeah, but like that's you're just gonna have the nightmares again, though, aren't
I
you?
know. It sucks.
Can Tulip
Um,
hug this guy, please?
Yes.
She hugs Trevor.
And
I don't know how
Trevor,
tall he is.
Trevor kind of looks like he dozes off for a minute and then, ah, fuck.
so quick question. I apologize. This is aside because I had forgotten to level. I'm looking over my class feats, and none of them seem particularly interesting. But minor magic and getting the ability to cast 2 cantrips seems like it could potentially be useful.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the sneak attack, and other than the fact that the enemy has to be flat-footed, there doesn't appear to be any range restriction like 3.5 had of like within 30 feet or whatever. So could I
you just need a-
theoretically go ahead?
You just need a way to get them flat-footed at a range. It just means that flanking does not work with ranged sneak attack.
If you strike a creature that has the flat-footed condition with an agile or finesse melee weapon, an agile or finesse unarmed attack, or a ranged weapon attack.
Works, I think.
So it has
But
to be it has to be unarmed or a weapon attack. To
Yeah,
get
the
Oh,
main
okay. So spells don't count.
there's
Oh,
a
okay.
specific thing for that.
Like an arcane trickster type situation.
Yes, I think it's like
Okay.
actually called exactly
so
that.
is this first level or second level class feat you're doing?
Yeah, second level class feat.
Do consider the fact that you can take dedication and archetype or dedication feats in that slot as well, which is Pathfinder 2's version of multi-classing.
Which I have done actually.
What
Uh,
is
for-
that? What is dedication?
So if you go onto
it's
if you go onto class feat in Path Builder, and
Uh-huh.
then at the top, under select feat, it's got the class feat in the drop down.
Yeah.
You can instead pick dedication feat.
Oh, okay.
And
Let me check that out. There's a
yeah,
lot here.
There are a lot,
There's
yeah. And if
there's a ton.
if you want to go arcane trickster style stuff, there's probably something here. It may need you to be level 4 to do that specifically. I don't know. But this,
Yeah,
this
no worries. No worries. I didn't
Oh.
know I had all these options. I'm gonna
Yeah.
check this out. I don't necessarily want to go minor magic. Like that was just like seemed to be the best
sure.
one
There
of
is
the one.
there is a
you-
linguist one.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll check it
Do
out.
you already have nimble dodge?
Yes, I chose that at level 1.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems rather very good.
Yeah. And I plan on getting the other one, although I don't know what level it's the prerequisite for, but the one that allows me to use my nimble dodge essentially for any of my saves, rather than just my reflex save.
Nimble dodge is for AC. I think it lets you use it for your reflex saves. Is the feat.
Oh no, I was getting him. I'm sorry, I got that mixed up with Cat's Luck, the ancestry feat.
Yeah, you'll get another ancestry at what, 5?
3.
Three?
No,
Is,
never mind. That's
Is it not worth taking quick draw?
depends on. You can sometimes have it ready if you're expecting combat. You might not necessarily need
Yeah,
it.
maybe I'm wrong
I
then.
like to assume that most of the time that Zigga's going to engage in a conflict, he's the one either initiating it or has the upper ground in some capacity.
Yeah, no,
I
sorry, that's fair.
Yeah, I don't typically picture Zigga getting into a whole lot of fights where he's getting ambushed rather than the other way around.
Quick draw is exceptionally useful for throwing weapon characters. Is one of
Yeah,
the reasons it's there.
primarily.
What about mobility?
If you, well,
Nope.
it's less useful because AOs are not as common, but if you're afraid of that and you're planning to move around a lot, then it could be useful. But I
Yeah,
think
I'm gonna
mostly,
take a look at all these dedication feats because I didn't even know this was an option.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Um,
it's the equivalent of multi-classing, like Tom was saying. You replace some of your class feats with some specific options from other classes and
Yeah,
some things that are not classes.
I would probably agree that if you're looking at like the most versatile option of those class feats, it is minor magic.
yeah, and that's
cantrips,
I tend to favor broader, less powerful feats over incredibly niche specific things. With my skill feat, for instance, there's another thing where I was just like, I don't know what, because all of these are like super niche scenarios.
Most of them
But
are.
I picked up one called Lie to Me that allows me to use my deception skill to determine whether or not somebody is lying to us. It allows me to like use my ability to lie to wage whether or not somebody else is lying or not. So that seems kind of useful because my society is lower than my deception by half.
Mhm. Just for some background, I took a call it dedication feat level 2, going into rogue for 2 skills, and a light slash medium. Actually, it's just light armor proficiency.
Light armor proficiency, yes.
Yeah, and then and a skill feat which I spent on
So
level
where are those? Because I can't see dedication. Like, are you doing this on Path Builder?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
is it?
if you click on your class feat, it opens up the box. At the top left, you see there's a drop down menu saying class feats.
Oh,
Click that.
Oh, I see.
Down there, there's dedication feats, and then
Yeah.
dedication feats are basically the header of each dedication. So like it's the starting feature. After you have a
Yep.
dedication, you're stuck into it for 3 features at least. And then from there you take archetype class feats, which are the things that are underneath those header.
Oh, fair enough. I stuck with my own class. I got basic lesson.
Sure.
So I mostly because it feels bad to only have one hex. Like
Yeah.
I now actually have a use for my focus point.
It's definitely more for some classes over others. Like sorcerer doesn't get a lot of very interesting early feats, so fine to branch out. Some like fighter don't really want to, because it's more. They have
Do you
more
not
things.
have good options in?
Not a lot. There's some meta magics that are kind of interesting, but not a ton.
Wow,
Interesting.
level 3 you get a general feat. The end. Oh no, you
And
get
a
a skill increase.
Yeah.
I suppose also because I'm a caster, I get the next level of
Yeah,
spell.
Yeah.
that's a big thing for you.
Yeah, shoot, I could theoretically become a bard dedication.
Oh my god.
That
Just so
would
you know,
fit.
the caster dedications are like they're limited casting, not like you are a bard kind of thing.
How do you?
Sure.
How do
They-
Oh, there. Never mind. I found it. Sorry.
I'm just trying to fix something that utilizes my charisma and my dexterity.
That should be correct, Tom.
Ah, cool.
I think. Gear.
Because I'm making a abnormally high charisma rogue, and I'd like to incorporate that
You're
some
a
way.
face rogue, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
I'm a face
that's
rogue.
not too uncommon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So do our checks just straight up gain 1 every time we level? Like
Yes.
our
All the trained
proficiencies?
ones. All the trained ones.
Yeah. Untrained is +0. Trained is +3 level, I think. Expert is +5 level, etc.
Oh, something I need to confirm with everyone. We got 10 gold from this guy before we started this quest, of which we spent none. Am I right in assuming that we each got 2.5 gold?
I would say so, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Which fine. 3.
I'm compiling a list of the Pathfinder links for you.
There. There we go.
They all stay constant, I think. Except I copied Tulips twice for myself. Okay. I think they do stay constant though.
Yeah.
Oh, or oh no, never mind. It's not the same.
Oh,
It has changed.
I
Maybe it's because from a different computer.
I was gonna roll. I don't know what I need to roll, but I was writing articles to submit off towards the paper and everything like that for my income or whatever.
Yes.
And I don't know whether or not you wanted me to roll diplomacy, deception, lore scribing. Like, what did you want me to roll for that?
Can I
I'm
have you
assuming-
roll performance for that?
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Because I feel like the thing that you're writing is quite performative. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Well, I'm rolling two different things, or I'm writing two different things. I'm writing my regular, um, like regular articles about just miscellaneous things.
Oh wait, it's still there.
And that's
Same
what I was
link.
making income off of.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Although I will say that I think the collecting information downtime options are supposed to take the place of income options.
Oh, I thought it was both. I thought we were doing both.
If Fish says we're doing both, then we're doing both. But as far as I
think
understand it,
specifically, Fish said that we were going to draw, like, gather an income from some source and look into something.
Yeah, I'm. Let's do both because at this point, your living costs are not a rounding error.
sure, okay. Fair enough.
But also I don't want to like drain all of your money away because you don't have a lot of it as it is.
Sure.
Oh, do I need to roll something, Tom, for earning money, like to
yeah.
live?
How are you gonna earn money to live?
Crafting. I can do crafting or I can do fortune telling. They're both a +8. Like
Roll whichever one you'd prefer.
Roll up.
sure. Let's do some fortune telling. There we go. I assume that is a good enough result to not starve.
That is a good enough result. B is doing one as well, I think, right?
Yep. I'm just gonna search up what I would be doing. If all else fails, probably just more physical labor, which is probably farming lore, to be honest. But I'll see if I have anything else that's better.
Yeah, I'll
Celebrity dedication.
I'll definitely do some fortune telling stuff.
Sure.
I think it's fun I think it's a fun little avenue, and
Yeah.
especially with the tattoo that I'm getting, that's quite funny. Uh,
God, that would be a really good racket for it, wouldn't it? You read their palm and oops.
yes. Oh man. Oh, is it fine for me to assume that Tabbit ate the scroll of true name and has a different cantrip? Is that fine at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Let's. I love the idea that my cat literally sits there and like honks down a scroll. It's like, Like it's like a snake. It like unhinges its jaw and just like.
yeah,
"Oh."
the scroll is bigger than the cat, like it's
Yeah.
longer than the cat, but it just kind of all goes in one.
I know it only looks longer than the cat, but if you lift her up by her shoulders, she does the long cat thing.
Oh, I see. And that's just full of scrolls, that space.
Yeah, she's got lots of scrolls in her.
Yeah.
So how do you think she knows all these spells?
She's like the old like Jewish golem. Like you put the scroll under her tongue and she does what you want.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
And then you open her up and you see that there's like actually an instruction sheet in her head instead of a brain.
Oh no. It's all punch cards.
Yeah, it's all punch cards all the way down.
What's me doing for money then?
Sure. I'm going to say she does something different from our usual, just because I'm going to be advancing warfare lore in the future.
Sure.
And so I'm thinking that since she's at the university, some people probably play some like strategic type board games, like the chess equivalent in this setting.
Sure.
So she'll probably spend some time picking it up and is for whatever reason a fast learner in it and has been giving some of the maybe some of the townsfolk some lessons where they're interested kind of thing.
Sure. Okay. That's
That's,
probably gonna have a higher DC.
It's fine. And my warfare is actually worse than my farming anyway, so I'm not expecting to make a lot.
Sure.
She's picking it up herself, so it's understandable.
Lol.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, fucking fair enough, I guess. Okay, so Tulip and Chris, after living costs and such, get 1.5 gold, as Tulip did earlier. Not
Yeah, Zigger and
Zigger,
Chris,
sorry, Zigger and Chris. B is apparently a fucking savant at chess. And probably makes like fucking 6 gold.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh, this is the thing when the task level goes up, the income goes
Yeah.
up, and then a 22 is a success on the task. So,
Sure.
Jesus.
Fair enough. I might have found some well-to-do kid
Yeah.
whose family like was interested in teaching. Having
Noise.
That's more than most people see in a year. So,
Just out of curiosity, do we want to keep the wheelbarrow that we purchased? I have it on my inventory, but I don't know. I assume it's too bulky to be justified keeping it all the time.
Probably.
Of my 7 total bulk, it alone as a single object is 5 of that 7.
Probably want to like resell it for probably a little less than we bought it for, but
you can sell it without a check for half.
There you go. I'm gonna sell it.
liquidate it.
Cool. If you want more than half of the value, I'll want a diplomacy or something, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not gonna haggle over what's probably like a couple of copper pieces or whatever.
Yeah. So we have Trevor in a bar with other people's memories in his brain. And he's,
Yes, we do.
and
yes.
he's half asleep on Tulip's bosom.
Is he? I thought he immediately woke back up. If
Well,
he
he-
is, though, that's fine.
He did. Yeah, he's half asleep. He's like not unconscious but dozing.
I guess Tulip will pat his back.
Burp him like a baby.
I mean, I don't know what Tulip's into, but I'm not gonna judge.
Being a kind person, you pervert. Yeah, she just stuffs him in her armor, and that's just where he lives now. Like a
Yeah.
fucking
Okay.
joke.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess B would talk with Chris a bit about this, just saying like, or Chris and Zig. Well, I guess since we're all here already, just have like a group conversation saying, but she probably says she's, you know, she hasn't heard of anything like this before, even if it's, this seems plausible. She says she doesn't know if there's a way to, I guess, remove those memories. Maybe someone with like higher level spells can
do some sort of memory modification magic, but that seems like it might be an expensive endeavor.
Sure. I mean, I don't know how to do it either. Like, I'm not exactly a mental magic specialist.
David, roll occult.
Sure, will
But
do.
you could be in the future.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
He's trying to tell you.
Sure. Yeah, you definitely know that there is occult spells to specifically to modify memory.
Yeah,
That
yeah, that's
is-
fair.
That is an explicit spell that is available at 4th level. So it ain't cheap, but it is there.
Yeah, I mean, he'll sort of ponder on it and go, I mean, I'm not good enough, but someone who's better at the weird shit that I do can definitely help. I don't know if there really are any other or many other occult practitioners around. I feel like it's mostly arcane up there.
Do we know that to be true, or have we seen more of a mixture of different schools in the university?
It's mostly arcane, but not exclusively. There's some primal, some divine, some occult.
Sure. Would
Sorry,
I be
I was just going over the fact that I don't think we've actually seen another witch wandering about.
Definitely
so,
not a witch,
yeah.
no.
Sure. I guess is just for the world at large, or at least this country, I'm assuming that arcane is like more these quote unquote civilized magic, and then the other ones are like divine is the is probably the church
Mhm.
The
specifically,
devout one, yeah.
and then the other two are like more or less like formally studied ones, I guess.
They're definitely formally studied. The church has 2 deities that are pretty heavily tied into them. Secundus for
Oh.
occult and arcane, and Quintus for primal. But it definitely leans more towards arcane is the study of scholars and divine is the study of the pious.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And primal is
Something you're born with.
yeah, it's more of a naturalistic, syncretic kind of thing in this society. And occult is it has a bit of a bad rep in some way, but not like a let's all burn all the witches kind of rep. It's like really, like, can we really trust what they're doing over there?
Yep.
I see. Well, good thing our two schools of magic in this party are the less popular ones.
Why
That's
do you
why-
think Chris is maybe a little jaded with a lot of people?
He isn't jaded. He just likes to hug trees or something.
He just likes to water trees with her
Yeah, I mean,
moist
that's-
hands.
Oh my God. She touches the trees and gets them wet.
Yes.
Giggity? I don't know.
I mean, there's some wood involved.
There is some wood involved.
Oh no.
That's enough of that. I mean, if Trevor doesn't already kind of know this, then maybe we can B would recommend that he look for someone in the university who can who might be more versed in occult magic now that Chris has given input on that. But otherwise, we don't have an immediate solution for it.
Trevor is not in the best state to be recalling this stuff, but
Sure.
he acknowledges the idea of it at least.
Maybe we write a note for him in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, Tulip's willing to stick with him if he does need to go. She's probably out of pies by this time, I hope.
Mhm.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think we're in a huge hurry to leave town. So yeah, I mean I think that's reasonable.
I think the most important thing to know though is what type of pie.
What
Well,
type of pie?
it's a dinner pie, so it's probably a savory one.
Yeah, I imagine like your standard shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie.
Oh,
isn't
shepherd's pie.
Shepherd's pie isn't a pie.
You know what,
Ironically.
You know what, Tom?
What?
Not today. Not today, please.
Fair enough.
Shepherd's
Fair
pie
enough.
for dinner, apple pie for dessert, and then
Cream pie for the evening.
that's. I was going to make that joke. Please relax. Let me make the joke.
No.
Glad we're on the same page.
No, steak and ale pie is much better. Oh dear.
Okay, so what is your plan? What do you want to do next? The world is open to you.
Go back to the world map briefly.
Boop. Boop. Boop.
All right. In the interest of not asking for another set of downtime rules because we're sticking around and doing more research, what do we know about the town to the unnamed town to the west and I guess like the southeast? Or, I
That
mean,
one.
south and the east.
Oh, I'm on the measuring mode. That one
Yeah.
and that one.
Yeah, the two smaller ones on the west side.
Not a whole lot. They're kind of by the wayside of the main route. The one to the north is, given it's in a forest, it's more of a like a hunting and forestry and wood goods kind of town.
Sure. Okay.
And the other one is big on the agriculture.
Okay, got it. So they mostly handle their own stuff, not necessarily any notable specialties that you would actually want to visit for per se.
Not
At least on a surface level.
Not on a surface level, no. If you went there and dug around for a bit, you'd probably find something
sure.
of interest, but
Of course. In that case, I guess we do what we would probably usually do and see if there are any jobs that would take us in any vague direction that we're interested in.
Yeah, Chris definitely recommends we leave town at this point,
Yeah.
or at least that would be his assumption. We should.
We don't want to stay under the watchful eye of the ordinal.
Yep,
Mm.
that
Good.
bitch.
And you're happy to leave Trevor to the
university.
university's care.
Probably. If he's still here and having nightmares when we come back in our like 7th level, then maybe we can get Chris to help out.
Oh, but you'll be over leveled for the side quest then.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait,
so
whoa! There's a side quest. Hang on.
we only get 3 gold at that point. That's okay. It's the
Yeah.
thought
Wait, is there a side quest? Am I
David, if
missing
you
a side-
if you want there to be a side quest, I will make a side quest.
yeah,
That's how this works.
that's fine. I'm
I think he was
mostly joking.
Yeah, I think he was mostly joking. Although we could take that as something to watch out for in case we like just gather some information, see if there are any.
Yeah, keep it in our mind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are there any knowledge skills that the party doesn't have? Like, does anybody have knowledge religion?
That's
I do.
religion.
Or, yeah, I guess. Yeah, sorry. I keep calling it
I
knowledge religion because holdover from 3.5.
Yeah.
I do not.
What about Arcana?
Oh, I
Uh,
have a plus
well,
8.
I think 3 of us have Arcana.
Okay.
2 or 3 of us.
Medicine, nature.
I have nature. I believe Chris has medicine.
I have nature and medicine both
Shoot.
trained.
There you go.
Tulip has medicine as well.
There we
How
go.
about how about survival?
No.
Yeah, I have a plus 6.
Okay. All right, so
I
everybody
have
has at least one.
skills.
At least one person has everything.
Yeah. I'm
Okay,
guessing
cool.
you have society.
Yeah. I've got society. I'm not terribly good at it, but I have it trained.
I'm not
You
terribly
may-
good at I'm not terribly good at religion either, but
Like,
I have it.
Which is
I've
why
got plus.
I picked up
I've
the
got-
lie to me specifically because I'm not good at society, even with
Yeah,
having it trained.
I've got a plus 8 on society. I was gonna say I have a lot of the like regular skills. What I really don't have is much lore, so you may want to start looking at like picking up some more esoteric knowledge as opposed to.
If you do want to do it that way, I would probably recommend the lore. There's a skill feat called additional lore. It auto advances it at the levels where you get higher level skills, which is what I'm doing for warfare. So like at level 3, it'll automatically progress to expert. At level 7, it'll automatically progress to master, etc.
Gotcha.
Those
Yeah.
things to consider.
Your study of magic allows you to instinctively sense its presence. You can cast first level detect magic at will as an arcane innate spell.
That
That's
is,
cool.
yeah. Although I think Chris already has detect magic, so it
I
might be
have detect magic, yes.
it may be a bit extraneous at that point.
It might be, but I mean, my alternative was lie to me, and so I mean, lie to me is somewhat useful.
It
Like
is
I
more
mean,
niche. I can understand that though.
being able to detect magic, even if it's extraneous between like the entire party, I might be separated off it enough that I
Hmm.
could find use out of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll look. I keep looking. I should have done this ahead of time. I apologize. It's just that, like I was focused on getting out my plot stuff because I knew that that was important for Fish to plan, and I totally did space on leveling.
It's fine. I should have put a reminder in the chat anyway.
I didn't think that leveling would be particularly time consuming, so I kind of put it off. And then I realized when I looked at it today, I was like, these. It's just like,
Two things along that line. Mag, would you mind giving me a link to your path builder? And Fish, I've given you permissions to post in resources and announcements.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
So you can
I
do
will give you a link to my path builder once I finish it because I haven't
It-
finished it.
it auto updates.
Oh,
the
no,
one-
I haven't. Oh, you just mean okay. Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
he just wants the link.
Yeah,
Like,
the link
like when you finish it, it will finish
Yeah.
the link.
Mine changed because I think I'm on a different computer. But if
Right.
I go back to my computer, I'm pretty sure it's still the same one I gave like Tom a while back.
Sure.
So that should stay the same. I'll make sure to import it.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I had a bit of umming and ahhing about which basic lesson to take. In the end, I gained the Blood Ward Hex, which is like a kind of giving someone else mage armor, sort of,
Okay.
which isn't bad.
Mhm.
But
What?
yeah, I thought about taking the one which gives you thorns, basically, but things are falling over in like one hit, so the thorns seemed less relevant right now.
Yeah,
Um,
I just found used magic device, but as a skill feat.
Yep, that one is useful, although in a little bit because I think the first wands you can get are actually like level 3. So
Well, I mean, and with me only having access to Arcana, it's not really useful for me, but it could theoretically be useful for other people.
Arcana has a lot of the good buffs that are useful for that kind of thing mostly.
Where do I find Panache?
The fuck
It's
is
a
that?
That's a swashbuckler archetype.
Yeah, I saw Swashbuckler dedication, and that seems to be the kind of character thing I'm going for with Ziga, but it says
Yeah.
you gain the Panache class feature, but I
There is
don't.
there
where
is
that
an
is.
actual swashbuckler class.
Oh, if you
And
take if you take it, if you put it on your
Oh,
sheet,
yeah,
it
okay,
shows
yeah,
up
yeah,
at the
yeah.
bottom.
I see,
Yeah.
I see.
What does that actually do?
I'm reading it right now.
Bonuses to movement and tumble.
Oh, so it makes
and
your
and you get
combat ability
even
better.
more precision damage.
I mean, that's not bad, I guess.
Yeah, it
You get-
says
you
while
get
you
some
have
nasty
Panache, you gain a
finishing
5-foot
moves.
bonus to speeds, which that's useful. Let's see.
Keep in mind that once you pick an a dedication, you can't leave it. Like you can't pick any other dedication until you have at least 3 feats in it.
Yeah.
So you're locked into it for a while. You can still do your regular class feats, but you can't do any other dedications.
That's seems fine unless well, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be making an error until after I've already got invested in, because I don't know the stuff well enough.
Well, you just need to take some time to read over the options, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do right this moment.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take something, and then if I end up having to switch it out later, like I'm not gonna try to like abuse it or anything like that, but I figure it's okay to make an error and fix it later.
It should be fine for this session either way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I
you
think.
have a week to at least to think on it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of going for the fencing route of like I have the cloak or whatever in the offhand and the rapier as a main hand, and I like that aesthetic.
Your name starts with a Z, you know.
Yep, true enough. It's an important part of being a swashbuckler.
It is. So we have 2 votes for leaving town on the first bus, basically.
Yes.
What about
Who are
Trevor?
those votes? I think I gave mine, but I'm not sure if you're counting that.
Me, I also voted for
We were
that.
talking about going to this town.
Somewhere
Or
else
this
around
one.
here, basically, so that we can get away from the immediate eyes of the church. They probably still have other people that they may tail us with or tell to watch out for us, but um, staying here is the most obviously bad thing for that.
Okay.
Amber?
I mean, I'm just Tulips would probably just be concerned about leaving Trevor, but other than that, is fine with leaving town.
I'm generally of the opinion that yeah, it might be a good idea to follow up at least stay in town for one more day to follow up with the university about Chris's insight into the crystals. Also, I don't know if anybody cares about this per se. I mean, obviously, I think we would care as far as like empathy, but we wouldn't necessarily care as far as like does it inform our actions about looking into the sudden sabbatical that our employer decided to take. You know, I don't know if that's something that we want to poke our heads in because if we're trying to avoid the church, that's the opposite of avoiding the church. But I don't know if that's something that we want to necessarily look into.
That's a good point, actually. Huh, a sudden sabbatical. Fuck. I don't think. Well, I mean,
Took a trip to Lake Laogai.
yeah. So on some level, I don't think we're gonna find anything except by snooping with the church itself, which is probably dangerous right now. I don't know if many others in the university will actually know. We could ask, I guess, but
I know we had potentially pitched the idea of going to the dean and trying to suss out whether or not he was going to be an ally or a church lackey.
that seems like a high risk, medium reward kind of thing. Just because even if he is a church lackey, and I like either we get found out that we're trying to probe him, or we don't, and then we find out if he is or is not a church lackey. If he is, then we kind of well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what we would do with that information just because it's not. I don't know how we can be sure that he's actually telling the truth, kind of thing. Even if he does say
No.
one way or the other, we don't really have any lie detection capabilities.
No, not barring like regular checks.
Hmm.
Please don't try and torture the dean of the Magic University.
I wasn't intending to do that.
Good.
God.
Is it torture if we tie him to a chair and then we like waft a pie in front of his face for hours on end?
Depends how long you prevent him from eating.
As long as it takes.
It's been 2,000 years.
At a certain point, he just doesn't need to eat anymore, to be fair.
That's
Because
true.
he's dead.
Yeah.
Or he ascends.
I think the dead is more likely, if I'm honest.
We are still lacking a consensus.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't really have a consensus. I internally, I don't even have a goal.
I think the gathering information stuff we should start a bit smaller and on the down low rather than going straight for the quote unquote end solution, which would in my mind be the dean in this or the church in this situation. Maybe gather some information from places where eyes aren't so close to us.
Well, that, and if we take Trevor in, or are just with Trevor and everything, they'll be more focused on that than anything being done in the background, hopefully.
If
So-
Wait,
if
what
take
are we
Trevor-
doing now? What? So, is the intention for us to stay here and help Trevor, or is the intention for us to get out of Dodge?
I think we stay here and help Trevor for a bit and then get the fuck out.
We can at least, I think we can at least follow up with someone to see if they're like maybe since he's not the most cognitively able right now, maybe we help try to find someone who to leave him with, and then that's about the extent of what we can likely do at this point.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I guess we do that. Then we look for some jobs to take us out of town, and then that's how we'll proceed for now.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Okay, so we're gonna see if we can't find or help Trevor find a higher level occult practitioner to help him with his issue.
Okay.
I think.
And you're going to be looking in the university for that?
Wait, do we want
Sorry.
to? Didn't we determine that it was mostly Arcana? I mean, I know it was a
We
mix.
might have the odd occult practitioner up there. It is still the largest collection of magic users in the area, I think.
No, not the school, but the affliction.
Oh, that's definitely
it-
occult.
It's
Oh,
a mental occult affliction. Yes, I
Yeah.
determined
Oh, okay.
that.
Gotcha.
That's a definite. I think. Hang on.
Is it like a form of mental necromancy?
It's
Like-
a mental effect. Yes.
Probably, yeah, that sounds about right. Even if we
I
can't.
was.
Go on.
Sorry. I have maybe got a relevant feat from my heritage. I have schooled in secrets. Which tells me I notice the signs and symbols that members of mystery cults and other secret societies use to declare their affiliation. I can use occultism in place of diplomacy to gather information about such groups. I could maybe use that to see if there's any of them in town.
Sure.
I don't know whether that's realistic.
This
but
definitely
it's
is diplomancy. I like that. That might become a school
Diplomancy.
of magic now.
I mean, look, I'm a derp and I can't speak, but I think that might be relevant? Question mark. Because if we're looking for an occult practitioner, they may well not be part of the quote unquote goody two shoes. We're here to learn magic. Ooh, look at us, school thing.
Before I hand it over to before we hand it back over to Tom, I also want to mention that maybe even if there isn't a practitioner here, there may be like they said they don't have like a way for people to teleport to the university. There may be people who have been or are affiliated with the university who are abroad, like just in other places, that they may be able to point us toward and then if that's the case, maybe we do take Trevor with us until we find them.
I apologize to keep interrupting things to ask questions, but there's a line in the panache thing that says that the precise strike class feature also allows you to deal extra precision damage when you have panache, but it doesn't actually explain what that does.
There is a swashbuckler class. A lot of the keywords and features they're using are from that class.
Okay,
You'll-
so with me only borrowing from the
You get
the-
exactly what the dedication says you get, but what you actually get if they refer to something and don't explain it, it's in the actual class explanation.
gotcha, so it wouldn't be
You
relevant.
might want to
me
just
with
open
me
another
dipping.
path builder thing and make the character that you're making a swashbuckler, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like
and
just
read what it says from there.
and just read what it
Gotcha.
says via like your second thing that you have open.
Okay, yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, so I mean, if we're trying to find, like, if we come to a conclusion as a group that we're trying to find him some help, then Chris will likely suggest that he could maybe look around town because he didn't really spot any occultist practitioners in the university. I don't think, anyway.
It did seem to definitely be more arcane bent.
Yeah.
Their understanding of occult and primal and divine magic is probably a little more academic than practical.
Sure.
So, do we have consensus?
Yeah, it sounds like
Yes.
that's a good avenue.
Okay, so what does your thing let you do?
Uh,
Where are you?
I essentially think it means I can use a gather information action, but I can use occultism to specifically find any like how do you say like occult groups or mystery secret societies or whatever that are around,
Sure.
if there are any.
Okay, do an occultism check for me then.
Sure. If I fail, I fail, but like I may as well get some use out of the thing. It's a little narrow. Boop.
Okay. Nothing's jumping out at you. There's no like secret hidden occult runes above doorways or anything.
Mhm.
But there's a weird kind of energy about town today.
Or
You can't quite put your finger on it, but it feels like I kind of want to say it feels like a fell wind is blowing, but that's very bad sounding. It's not bad sound. It's not a bad feeling. It's just
It's a good
something's plucking some thread somewhere.
Okay. Sure. I mean, after wandering around town for a little bit, looking above doorways or like keeping an eye out for these tattoos or whatever, I guess he'll sort of turn to everyone and go, I don't really know what's going on, but something's going on, and I can't figure out what it is. He'll seem kind of perturbed. He's like, what?
Yeah, not exactly unexpected from an occult thing, I think.
Yeah.
Trucking in secrets and knowledge and all of that. It's fairly normal for like to have that kind of feeling that something's happening, but don't know what. Let's just keep an eye out for it.
Yep.
Can we maybe ask the townspeople if they know if something's going on?
Yeah?
That is not a check that necessarily you want Chris to make.
That would be a diplomacy gather information, I think.
Tulip will try and do that. Diplomacy.
Okay.
Fuck.
I mean, you're not insulting anyone, but everyone seems to be very busy with their day today and not really wanting to stop and talk to you.
God damn it.
Which is, it's quite unusual even for people who aren't so socially inclined. Like, most people will give you the time of day and answer a question or two, but today everyone's very busy. Everyone.
Sure. B is probably looking to Leeds for a job out of town, but while she's doing that, can she also just piggyback this off of the same kind of gather information check?
Sure.
Wait. Literally everyone in town is busy.
Everyone you've talked to.
It's just bad luck, really.
Why?
And, given the amount of trade that flows through Norhow, normally you'd expect there to be quite a few jobs going, but there's really no one needs anything done today.
No, that's certainly odd, unfortunate, but and maybe a little unusual, but it is what it is.
No one needs.
No one needs things doing. B, I guess B will ask one more focused question. Is that is there anyone who's like coming by soon that we're not aware of? Like anyone high profile?
People are talking about some high up person from the church coming in yesterday, but
Okay, so nothing new apparently.
I'm just gonna do a little bit of
Shenanigans are afoot.
okay.
There are some sort of shenanigans afoot.
Chris.
Yes.
Tabbit jumps off of your shoulder and walks into an alleyway.
I get the impression that this is probably happening while Tulip is trying to convince person number 17 to talk to her about
Hmm.
anything. And he's like, what is going on? And then she just like yoinks off my shoulder. I'm like, hang on a minute. And it's just sort of wanders after her.
Yep.
It's really cool that your cat trolls me just as hard as you do, Chris.
And you can barely catch Tabbit going around corners. She's really
Yep.
running. And she takes you on a proper race around town.
Yep.
Until you end up almost exactly back where you started, in front of a vegetable vendor's market stall.
My cabbages. No,
Oh
sorry.
my god, I was thinking.
So we end up in front of a vegetable vendor.
Yes. And funnily enough, the stall is full of cauliflower and broccoli and kale and that kind of leafy green.
Chris is like almost like bent over, like, and he finally catches up to his feckin' cat, looks down at her, and is like, "What was that about?"
And she looks, because like talking cat in public, not always the wisest move. So she looks at you and then looks at the vendor and then looks at you again.
I just he sort of like, and then sort of looks up at the what's on the stall, vegetables, and then looks at the vendor. What's he look like?
He's or she is an old, short, kind of like built of spheres kind of lady. Like not like really like it's literally spherical, but very round and pleasant.
Oh, okay.
Hello, dear. Did
Hi,
cat-
hi, hi, hi.
Did your little kitty get away from you?
Yeah, she has a habit of that. She
A
seems
habit
to
of
be
that.
interested in you though.
Oh, well, I've got away with cats.
And then he sort of has a moment of double take before like giving her a proper look. Like it's like
Perception?
okay. I guess I'll roll perception here. Where are we? Sheet. Boop. Whoa, no.
Sweet looking old lady.
Can the rest of us try and perceive if she's
Yeah.
like...
I've run off. Yeah. Did you follow Tabbit on the wild goose chase?
I mean, Tulip's always gonna follow Chris if he sprints off somewhere.
Everyone else, by the way, being quite a bit more athletic than Chris, is fine. No panting at all.
Yeah, we're just gonna
Fuck
sit
off.
back there like, fucking get to the gym, man.
You
Hey,
said
I'm
that
not-
we.
Sorry.
You
go
said
ahead.
that Chris came out like pretty much where Tabbit first went into the alleyway.
Oh yeah, you're like one block down.
Was this lady there
Oh,
first?
okay, got it.
Was she
Uh,
there when we
Same
left?
block, so not the same place, but
Sure. I'm thinking that maybe B was not with the group, but maybe she just happened to see where they came out and just kind of looking at Chris oddly. But if he starts talking to the lady, then she'll be there too.
Sure.
So if we were here earlier,
Yeah.
before Tabbit led me on a wild goose chase, was this lady here then?
Do a wisdom for me. Flat wisdom.
Shit.
Or
Okay.
was it Undidy?
Oh,
Oh
Maybe.
boy.
you can't remember. You were
The
busy
rough-
trying to find work.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's what you get for smoking all week, dude. Just becomes a blur.
He's not a stoner. He's trying to tattoo himself.
Like a stoner would.
The new tattoo is actually a straight edge tattoo.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I don't have enough wisdom to back up here. Can I
No,
diplomacy
I
this
mean-
lady?
Did so everyone's did Zigger, seeing as Zigger actually got a half decent result, notice anything about this old lady?
Nah, lovely old lady selling leafy greens.
Huh.
Not a very profitable venture, but you know, you do what you gotta do to get by. Seems like a sweet old lady.
Wow.
Okay.
A bit of wisdom for you from your elders. You want to save up a little bit, and then it's a lot easier in your later years.
Huh.
And
There's obviously something going on, but
B,
I can't roll a die for shit.
B will ask, do you have something in your stall that attracts cats? And she's gonna ask this in kind of a just a curious way.
Well, I've got a little bit of catnip back here, but mostly for my cats.
And she gives Tabit a kind of a chastising look, as if to say, "You really shouldn't be getting into that in the middle of the day."
And Tabit's gonna give you a look back that is like, motherfucker, what do you think I'm doing here? This isn't about catnip.
Yeah, pretty much. Like Chris is like, please excuse me for just a second, and he like steps away and sort of whispers to Tappet, "What the fuck are you doing?" Do I actually get a response?
No, just another pointed look at the woman.
Just ask her if she's a witch. Just ask her straight up.
Like,
She will
are
like-
you? Is Zigga doing that?
No. I'm telling Chris to do that.
Sure.
So what, to ask the lady if she's a witch,
Yeah.
or ask Tappet if the lady's a witch?
No. Ask her in character, just bluntly.
That's not how you go.
I mean, Tulip will.
I guess he'll wander back to the stall then at that point and be like,
And by the time you get back, she's loading some sacks into a barrow, into a wheelbarrow.
Oh, can Tulip
Oh,
help you
okay.
do that?
Is it the same wheelbarrow that I had sold earlier that day?
No, it is a different wheelbarrow, and yes, Tulip can help load, and she'll be very thankful and give you a, I don't know, mustard plant or something.
Cool.
You can plant that and use it in your pies.
Yeah,
I will.
you get a free stalk of Brussels sprouts.
That's just insulting, but fair enough.
Hey, I like Brussels sprouts.
Your pies?
With pies, I could see it.
Maybe.
Properly done, of course, not boiled to all hell.
But can we one of us just be like, all right, there's mystical shit going on here. We're not back here on accident. What are you trying to say?
Well, she might not
Well,
be
I
trying
mean-
to say anything.
I
Tabit's
mean,
just-
yeah. I was gonna say this is not her. She didn't inspire this interaction. She doesn't know why we're here.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to say that after getting back to the stall, Chris would sort of come up with a different tact and say to the lady, "Have you noticed everyone's really busy today for some reason?"
Oh yeah, everyone's always rushed off of their feet these days. It was much quieter back in the day.
Do you have any idea why? Because they weren't before. Do you have any idea why they'd be particularly busy today?
Not a clue, dear. Not a clue.
Oh. Okay.
But you know, I'm quite busy myself today. I've got a lot to be getting on with. And she's not saying this in a get the fuck away from my
Please
stall
go
way.
away,
It's conversational. Like she's chatting while she works.
Sure. It's like, what might that be then? What are you up to today?
Oh wow! I've got to get this. I've got to sell stuff all day at the stall, and then I've got to get this this barrow full of seeds down the road to the farm.
Right. Okay. Desperately trying to follow this.
Would she be up for us helping her move stuff to the farm so we can keep chatting? Question mark.
Oh, that would be lovely, dear. If you could. I mean, I have to stay here on the stall, but perhaps you could run it down for me.
Sure.
I could pay you in a pretty copper coin.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it.
And maybe some hard candy.
Ooh,
Okay,
that
worry
would-
about that for sure.
Oh, I know what you young'uns like.
Inflation hasn't done much for the coinage, though.
I don't know what you're on about. When I were a young lady, we
Oh, no.
we
This is
used
some boomer shit.
we used to spend 1 copper on rent a week, and that was good enough.
I can't even manage. Can barely manage it for like a silver.
Oh, I don't know what you're on about. It's perfectly
That's
fine out
neat.
there.
You must have a lot of interesting stories, ma'am.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you to say, dear.
I
Hope
guess
these,
we'll get these running, or at least Tulip will.
yeah, no, B will help out as well. I'm seeing as she didn't have any luck finding a more lucrative job. Going out of town specifically, I guess, is what she was looking for.
Um,
Just before we do like help her move all this stuff, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
can I do an occultism check to see if I recognize any signs or symbols of this person?
Sure. You do.
Oh, okay. Where is it?
It's kind of like third eyeing its way, like vaguely in the periphery when you look at her.
No.
In what sense? Sorry, how do you mean?
Like you look at her and you just kind of get a feeling of like being slightly tilted, like off.
Like
And
she's played a few too many ranked games today.
yeah, she's
Oh,
been down in
no.
the salt mines.
Okay,
No,
sure.
no, she just feels a bit
Like seeing an aura.
a bit out of place almost.
Hmm.
Despite the fact that she looks like she fits perfectly well with the other older people working the stalls that are nearby.
Has anyone else approached her during the time we've been talking?
Nope.
Has anyone else looked at her or her stall? If B can look around.
Do me a perception.
Sure.
Their eyes are moving over the stall and the old lady
Fair
in a way that you expect that they could look at her.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Hard to tell.
Seems no one's in the market for Brussels sprouts today, though.
Yeah.
Do I recognize what like system or cult or whatever this might mean she belongs to?
It doesn't look like there is one. It's very unstructured. This kind of feeling you get from her.
So she's not really part of necessarily a group of people so much as she is just off.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Question: Is Tulip still? Well, I guess I would answer myself with this, but is Tulip still carrying Trevor too?
Probably not carrying, but he's still with you. He's probably like leaning on you.
I'm super amused at the idea of her having him in one arm and just heaving the wheelbarrow over her other shoulder.
Just put him in the wheelbarrow and put the cabbages on top of him.
No, her
Seeds.
Brussels sprouts.
Cabbage seeds, okay.
Yeah, Tulip's just like, here, hold this, and picks Trevor up.
Just
Right.
sits him on it like a throne. He's the cabbage
Yeah.
king now.
Well, I mean, I guess we're Chris will sort of make note of the fact that there's definitely something weird going on with this person in his head, and then sort of before they go, he'll go, "So will you be in the same spot when we come back?"
Oh,
Or
I expect so, dear. It's not a particularly long journey. Just the wheelbarrow's a bit hard on my back at my age.
sure. And then he'll sort of wander with
Trev-
everyone.
So Ziga doesn't know what's going on, but based on the length of, like, the fact that Tabit led us here, and the fact that Chris is lingering around, obviously wanting to ask something and having thoughts going in his head, but not articulating what those thoughts are, Ziga's gonna pick up on context. Again, not knowing what Chris is thinking about, and is just going to say, when we get back, do you mind taking a look at our friend here? And he points at Trevor. See if you can find out what's going on with him.
What's going on with him, dear? Does he
He's
have
having
does he have an iron deficiency? Because I can help with that.
He's having some troubles with nightmares, and I'm curious if you had any insight into that.
Oh, you know what? You know what you want to do for that? No cheese before after dinner, and a drink of some honey tea before you go to bed. That'll put him right out.
Well,
Hmm.
maybe we'll have to ask you where we might be able to find some good honey tea around here. Then after we come back,
Oh, I've got a brilliant recipe I can give you. Don't worry.
there we go. I'm sure that'll help.
Okay. We'll be back shortly to get that recipe.
Then we'll sort of wander off with the wheelbarrow of seeds.
Yes.
What seeds are they? If
Oh,
I like
Where are
look
we
in the
going, by
bag.
the way?
They're just assorted. Oh wait, some of you have farming lore.
I do have
This
farming.
is actually a use for fucking farming lore.
Oh my god, I have farming lore too.
Farming lore is very useful. What are you
Hell
talking
yeah,
about?
farmers.
Cool. Do me a farming lore. Oh my
Oh
god.
my god!
I'm very good at farming, apparently.
Would Tulip like to do a farming lore?
No, I don't know.
No?
We're both farmers.
You have
We're farmers.
it. You have farming lore.
I know, but okay, I'll do it. But I'm gonna get showed up.
28. Ah.
I mean, it was 22. It's hard to beat. That's a good score.
That's true.
But in fact, both of you can recognize cabbage. They are actually cabbage seeds or cabbage, whatever cabbages grow from.
Bulbs. If they are bulbs, I don't know.
Okay, so once we're out of earshot, and we're out of earshot of the old lady at least, B is going to comment to Chris. You're kind of getting into an interesting conversation with her back there. Was there anything up with that?
Chris like glares at Tabit. It's like, well, look, it's kind of hard to explain. So, Mum taught me a lot of stuff about uh, odd groups. Like I don't know how to put it. Organizations of people who deal with what I do or their own version of what I do, and she like, well, Tabit led us to her, and she won't tell me why. And I get the feeling that she's out of. I look at her and she's out of place. I don't know how else to explain it. She doesn't. I guess the word is she doesn't belong. I think that's the correct feeling, right, Tom? Like that's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
getting.
give or
She's
take.
like she doesn't belong where we are. Like she's out of place. I don't know if out of time. She's part of something, and I don't. And normally these people don't necessarily react very well if you just sort of ask them.
And B is going to nod and say, "Oh, okay." She looks at Tabit and she says, "Maybe we can ask Tabit when we're closer to the farm." Then
Chris looks at his frigging cat that's like draped around his shoulders, and it's like, "Are you ever going to explain why you made me run all the way around town and then bother some little old lady who runs a stall?"
I like to watch your two legs work.
uh,
It's funny to watch you run in such an inefficient way.
That's her way of saying. That's her way of saying no. Figure it out yourself, you idiot.
B grins and says, "It is kind of funny watching you run."
You get the long, slow cat blink of yeah.
And B is going to say, "Well, if that's the case, then maybe we can at least check on the off chance if these seeds are magical or something."
Chris will like wave his hand and cast detect magic.
No, they're seeds.
That's fine.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not even the wheelbarrow.
Even the wheelbarrow.
Normal ass wheelbarrow.
Not a wheelbarrow of holding.
Nope. I mean, it is holding.
Yeah.
But no, it has the normal amount of sacks of cabbage seeds in it. And the sacks also contain the normal amount of seeds for a sack.
I see.
And the seeds, believe it or not, contain the normal amount of cabbage for a seed.
Which is probably to say not very much at all.
Not much, no, but it gets bigger.
That's true. Or so I hear.
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
seen it myself. Not like I grew up on a
No.
farm or anything.
No, of course not. Perish the thought. Okay, if that's the case, then assuming we don't get stopped by anyone odd on the way, do we make our way to the farm?
I expect so, if no one else has anything to do in the meantime.
No.
I don't
No,
think
let's
so.
go.
Okay.
Chris is kind of more concerned that when they get back, the old lady will have vanished.
Well, she said that she wouldn't have, so
Yeah, that's definitely something you should always believe.
But
Hmm.
if she does vanish, we get a free wheelbarrow.
True.
and some free cabbage seeds.
Lots
like
of
we
cabbage
also win.
seeds.
It's a win-win-win-win-win situation.
Yeah.
With us doing most of the winning.
Yeah, yeah. This is thousands of seeds, so you could start a farm with it.
Oh my god.
Well, they're not very big seeds. I did post a picture.
Sure, yeah, that's true.
We could just
You
retire. from
actually
adventuring.
posted a picture of cabbage that you did.
Yeah, I was curious what cabbage seeds look like, and they look like that. Right, so you leave town, heading west down the road you were planning to go down anyway. And it's a lovely day. The sun's shining, birds are chirping. They're not coming after your seeds, which is pretty thankful.
Great.
And not a whole lot is going on as you walk towards the farm.
Okay. And the farm looks pretty normal at first glance, kind of thing.
Yeah, as you approach it, it looks like it's a small operation. It's just a little farmer's hut with some fields, and you see a figure working the fields in the back. It's a little separated from the road by a few hedges. But once you get past them, yeah, it's a nice little personal farm area.
Okay. Did we happen to get the little lady's name for what to tell the farmer before we left?
No,
Okay.
no one
perfect.
thought to ask that.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we can describe her shape, I guess.
Yes.
Probably pretty distinctive.
Okay. I guess we wander along the road till we hit the farm.
Okay, you reach the farm and see the figure tending the crops.
Sure. We'll go. B will go right up to them and try to talk to them.
Sure, it is a lady, an older lady, rather round and
Oh no, just two of them now.
quite familiar looking.
Hmm.
Oh, familiar looking enough that they might be related.
Very closely related, yeah.
Okay, like potentially
Clones.
twins level or like sisters level.
Like twins
That's
level.
like the same person.
Like it may
Um,
possibly be the same person.
Okay.
Oh,
She's gonna give a backwards glance at Chris to see if his face is weird at looking at.
Chris,
Chris's face is always weird.
Okay,
Yeah,
but you know, like
it's like completely poker face right now. It's like nope, no reaction to the fact this is exactly the same fucking person, and it's not like a twin. It's the same person.
yeah, I mean there are identical twins out there. So B's gonna just gonna shrug, and she's gonna walk up to the lady, and she's going to say, "Hi there. We just came from town, and we met a lady who looks very much like you. Who gave us who we offered to take some cabbage seeds to the farm for."
Oh, lovely, thank you, dear. It's the same voice.
Okay. And B will keep a straight face, and she'll ask, "Is there anywhere in particular you want us to leave them?"
Oh, just by the front door if you could.
And she nods and says, "Sure thing." And she'll kind of yell over to Chris, "Just over there." And she points at the front door. And
Sure.
turning back to the lady, she'll say, "If you don't mind me saying so, you two look resemble each other a great deal. Are you sisters?"
Oh, I all of my family's long gone, I'm afraid, dear.
That doesn't answer the question, but cool.
Well, I
mean,
mean, I guess it
no,
sort of
it's
does. It just doesn't make
question.
sense.
It does make sense if magic is involved that it's the same person.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could be the same person. She's gonna. Is there a track for? I always forget if insight exists in systems or not.
No. Oh, it did in 4th ed, and then they took it out. And then it didn't make it into Pathfinder 2, I don't think.
Yeah, okay.
I think perception is the closest you're going to get, but
Sure.
a flat wisdom check, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
Sure. I'm just gonna take it at surface level. She seems to be telling the truth, I'm assuming. Like she's smiling and everything, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, if you're expecting a deception,
She's not gonna be like, she's not probing deep for it. She's just like, that sounds odd because I just saw someone who's looks exactly like you.
that would be a perception, very specific, because that is the opposing check to a deception. So if you reverse that, you would be trying to perceive a lie.
Sure. Okay, let's do that then.
Hey,
Ooh.
damn.
She doesn't think she's lying,
Okay, interesting.
which is about all you can tell by the nature of, interpersonal reaction and all.
Right. Okay, gotcha.
I mean, Chris will drag or pull the wheelbarrow to the front door, but as he's going past and he takes a look at the lady who stood there, does he get the same sort of weird, like off kilter, out of place feeling?
Oh yeah,
looking at her?
and in fact, like the whole area feels a bit.
Well, like this
funky.
farm?
The whole farm feels
Yeah.
real funky.
Did he feel like the world was on an axis the whole time we were walking here, or is it just the farm?
No, it was fine. It's just the farm is a little bit shifted.
There's an earthquake coming. I can feel it in my bones.
All right, Absol.
I mean, hey, it's Chris. It's Chris, right? And Chris.
Yeah, Chris is basically this group's solo. It's true.
Oh no! I've gone from playing my character to playing my Pokemon.
You've descended further into the.
You still have a cat. David officially has a type.
No. This character talks and is like sassy and shit. We're not.
You've never heard Sola talk, so how do you know that she wasn't sassy?
I thought he meant that this was like I was still playing Lucas, which I'm not.
No, you're
not. And B just making just normal conversation. She says, "Oh, well, I guess that's a really interesting coincidence then. My name's B. What's yours?"
Oh, they call me Gram.
And B will just nod as if that's perfectly normal and says, okay, then if you don't mind, then I'll call you the same. Where'd you meet the other lady?
Sorry?
The one running the cabbage stand in town.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about, dear.
And that she does make a little bit of a weird face. And she says, was there someone you were expecting this delivery from? And she points at the wheelbarrow that Chris is still handling.
Oh, delivery comes by every once in a while.
And she nods and says, okay, no, that makes sense. And she's going to say, well, I'll leave you to it. So we were just passing by, and some of my friends like making conversation. If you have a moment to spare, they might come over just to talk to you a little bit. And we that's something we just tend to do with people.
Oh, I'm
Is
always
that okay?
welcoming of a guest. I don't have a lot to entertain you with, I'm afraid.
That's okay. We're interested in all kinds of stories. And she'll give her a smile and go back to the rest of the group.
And she'll give you a smile back and go back to tending to her various vegetables.
Okay. She
Did we
will.
bring Trevor with us outside of town?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Tulip was carrying him and the wheelbarrow that Chris apparently got.
Yeah, so B is going to go back to the rest of the group and kind of tell the others about what she's found out from the lady. It's very clear that something is not quite adding up here, and I think that probably agrees with what Chris is seeing.
Can I cast detect magic?
Yes.
What the do I get? Like, is there magic?
Yeah, mostly in the house and also kind of slightly all around.
Yeah, I was wondering whether like the whole farm would ping
Yeah,
essentially.
it's a gentle ping, but it's definitely there.
Sure.
And if I look around, sorry, is there a sign? Like, is there does the farm have like a name or anything? Was there like a sign leading here? Was there a sign around the farms telling us where we are?
Nope. But you do see something else.
Yep.
You know that hedge you came through to get here?
No.
Solid, so the farm was obscured from the road by a hedge.
Yes, yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
hedge. Yeah, it's just solid hedge now.
Okay.
Like
I want-
Chris does like a double take when he sees the hedge, and he's like, "Oh, oh dear." He just has that moment of fuck. It's
He's
just
going
like-
to follow his gaze to where the hedge is closed off, and she's just going to make the offhand comment. I wonder if she's going to invite us over for dinner.
I have a vague idea of why everything feels kind of off.
And what might that be?
We're probably interacting, at a guess, with something Faye. I think. It everything feels kind of does that seem to like when I voice that, does that kind of click in my head by any chance, Tom, that this is if I think back, does this seem Feyan?
It's maybe something that the Fae could do, but you feel like they would be taking much more glee in tricking you here if it were them. This
She does seem
doesn't
pretty-
this doesn't feel malevolent.
Then, is the hedge not a symbol of going into Fae like it is in some cultures? Like you go through the hedge maze or whatever.
I mean, yeah, you've definitely passed the threshold.
Yeah.
But that isn't just a Fae thing.
I could also see that being like a coven type situation as well.
Yeah, I mean, do I recognize this to anything that I've been taught? Like, or not so much? Like, is this new?
Do me another occult with this new context of exactly what shit
Sure.
is going down.
Sure. Boop. Eh,
Yeah.
nothing special.
It doesn't feel like, or it doesn't bring to mind any specific groups or methodologies, and that probably means it's something a bit more hedge magic-y.
Sure.
Hedge-
Yeah.
Well, you do literally get hedge witches or
Yeah,
whatever they're called. Yeah.
like more kind of self-taught, emergent kind of effects.
Sure. Then in which case,
Yeah.
that's what he'll voice rather than the Fae stuff.
Sure.
And Ziga has been like for a while now, like antsy, and he's like walks up to Chris. He's like, "Dude, just ask her. She seems really nice. You could just ask her."
What exactly are you expecting me to ask her?
Just ask her if she's a mage or something like that. You know, like just be direct.
I mean, that's kind of what Tulip was trying to do. But, I mean, Tulip will ask her.
I mean, Chris will sort of look at Zigga and then sort of sort of go, okay, shrug. And he'll just literally just shrug and just sort of walk up to the lady and go, "Miss, are you a practitioner by any chance?"
I'm afraid that if this is something that Tulip is trying to do, then Tulip is probably already there doing that.
Sure.
No, it's fine. The Tulip will let Chris do it since he knows what he's talking about.
You sure?
Yeah.
You go
Okay.
ahead if you want to interact with her, go for it.
I mean, like, literally, I would just be like, You know, like, do you practice magic?
I'm sorry, dear.
Do you practice magic?
Well, I don't think so. I know the odd remedy and the odd charm for good luck, but, well, I'm not going around shooting rocks out of my fingertips.
And then Tulip will look at Chris and raise her eyebrows and be like, could you help, please?
I mean, he'll at which point sort of wander over and go, Miss, where are we?
Oh, you're in my farm, dear.
And where's that?
Well, it's on the road between Norhau and Cometis. Where it's always
Oh,
been.
okay.
Where it always will be, I imagine.
No.
Does it have a name?
Not really, no, it's just where I live. It's Gram's farm.
Sure. And you aren't a practitioner, Miss?
I practice keeping the plants good.
Because Tabbit here, and he like pokes her.
Oh dear, and Gram gives Tabbit a little scritch under the chin, which Tabbit accepts flawlessly.
It's like it was Crystal like just sort of gently lift Tabbit off her shoulder and sort of proffer her to the lady if she wants to pet her.
Yeah, and Gram will take Tabbit, and Tabbit will be very happy with this arrangement.
He was like, yeah, Tabbit seemed kind of interested, and normally she doesn't normally drag us about. So normally, it's when we meet someone who is a practitioner of some sort.
I don't know what you mean by practitioner, but there are a few cats around these parts. I have a certain way with them, you know.
Right, sure.
Let me get this lovely lady a little saucer of milk, and she dodders off towards the house.
Chris will follow along behind her.
Yeah. And she goes in and puts down a little saucer of milk for Tabbit, and inside it is very rustic and almost a little witchy, in that there's a big cauldron, but most houses have a big cauldron, so.
Fair enough.
Does anything else on the farm look strange from where we're standing, presumably outside still?
So having gone back around the side of the house to talk to the Gram, if you actually look towards the back, it just fucking goes. It's like it's endless rows of cabbage.
And just cabbage.
Just cabbage, as far as you can see.
Let me ask her why the fuck she's growing that much cabbage. It's a small town.
It's her farm. That's what she's always done.
Yeah, she
Well,
grows cabbage.
Norhau's not a small town, no, is it?
Norhau's a pretty big town.
There's a lot of people who could use some cabbage.
Yeah, and I imagine it's not just going to Norhau, it's probably going all over the country.
I don't think you quite understand quite how far into the distance this cabbage goes.
This one cabbage farm probably extends all the way to Cometis.
This cabbage farm goes to the horizon.
So, presumably seeing that, B would like to do, well, I guess if Chris hasn't come back to them yet, she'll only do one thing, and that is, detect aura for the type of magic that is present.
Sure. Let me double check what that does. Where are we?
Read aura.
You learn the School of Magic, right? Yes.
Yeah. Presumably it's illusion, but
it is occult-ish, kinda, but it's messy. And fuck, why can I never remember the Schools of Magic in Pathfinder? This has come up like twice already. It is.
You have abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, and transmutation.
Oh, it's messy.
Imagine it might be illusion or
I think it's transmutation.
Really? Okay,
Mm.
interesting. Huh.
But it's
okay.
like weird. It's not fit well into a specific school.
Sure. Okay. So that's
I'm pretty sure we're in like a sub-dimension somewhere, so you're looking for like whatever dimension door and shit use.
yeah, that makes sense actually.
We aren't in Kansas anymore. We're not on the road between Norhow and wherever the fuck. We're in whatever weird sub-dimension this is.
Let's see.
That's my guess anyway. That's
Create
OC though. I
demiplane is
see he's just clueless.
create demiplane is conjuration.
There you go.
I stand by transmutation.
Okay, fair enough. Interesting. Do we see anything else on the farm? Like the out of character, the aforementioned cats, or any other type of movement?
Yeah, there's a big old cat kind of sunning itself on the roof. And there's probably some more around. There's trees around the outside of like the perimeter, such as you can see it.
Is there a barn?
No barn.
So no barn for all the cats to live in. Okay.
Well, seeing as Chris has gone in with the lady, B is just gonna go and try to interact with some of the cats, just uh, see if they're interested in playing or something like that. But after that, Zigai, you can go on.
They're very occupied sunning themselves.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
Were you gonna do something? Sorry, Mag. Was there something?
Yeah, I think I heard you say something.
It may have been child interaction, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Kiddo's rambunctious.
That's fine.
I just
I
thought
mean-
I interrupted you somewhere. That's all. So.
Yeah.
I'm also conscious of the fact that Chris has been kind of dominant here. So is there anything anyone else actually specifically wants to do, or?
If I could speak to animals, I would. Otherwise, she's just gonna chill out beside Cat.
Can you?
The answer is no.
Okay. I didn't think you could, but
I mean, I can talk to cats. I can't understand them back.
no.
Is anyone else going to
But,
follow me into the lady's house? Or?
Tulip will, but mostly just to stand guard and or ask if she needs anything else done.
Oh, there's always work to be done around the farm, dear, but don't worry about it. I'll manage.
Put me to work. I'm big.
Sure. She'll direct you to some cabbages that need pulling up.
Alright, I guess Tulip will go do that and just see if there's anything fucky that she can detect with her barbarian brain.
Sure. There's a lot of cabbage. That
Does
much.
anything look unusual about the cabbage itself or
No.
the soil?
They look like perfectly fine cabbages, and the soil looks pretty fertile. You know, it's nice. It's dark. It's moist. It's got what plants crave.
And besides the cats, are there any other animals on this farm?
Oh, you can hear some birds off in the distance. There's bugs in the dirt.
But no chickens, horses, cows,
Nope.
farm animals?
Nope, just cabbage.
Hmm.
Just cabbage and
still
like
trying
3
Trevor.
cats.
Actually, could I ask Trevor if, like, he feels anything weird here? He's a mage, right?
He is a mage. He is mildly bewildered and exceptionally tired and slightly sore from riding here on a bag full of cabbage seeds.
Like a
Uh,
beanbag. Joke, I do that then.
He, like, mechanically speaking, he hasn't had a long rest in days. So he doesn't have any spell left.
That's fair.
Barring
but-
cantrip.
Barring
Yeah.
cantrip, yeah, but he can't tell you any more than you've already taken from Detect Magic and Read Aura.
Even if we ask him if he's having any strange or different nightmares here while he's kind of dozing, like
Oh, man,
nothing has changed.
I'm trying not to sleep.
I know, sweetheart, like small boy, precious baby. I know, but I have to ask because something is fucky, and we're trying to figure out what it is.
Oh, do I have to?
Yes, dear, you have to.
And he'll kind of just sit down with his back against the outside of the house and kind of just immediately doze off almost against his will. And he actually stays asleep this time, but he doesn't look too happy about it.
Mm.
Like he's got the odd twitch of bad dream.
I guess Tulip will just sit with him and awkwardly pat his head gently every now and again. She doesn't know what the fuck is happening.
And she's gonna once she's got the milk for Tabbit, she's gonna fiddle around in the back and then come out with a big old pot of lemonade and pour you all a drink. And bring it out to Tulip and say, you know, dear, there's a lot you can learn from cabbages.
Oh?
Yeah, if you know how to listen to them, they'll tell you a lot about yourself. You know, why don't you each go out and pick one that you particularly like the look of?
Even Trevor here.
Yeah.
I know this is serious, and it is, leading into the continuing the plot and everything like that. But when she said there's a lot you can learn from cabbages, I was thinking Shrek's onion speech.
There are a lot of layers to cabbages.
I mean, I was thinking, not in the mood for cheese.
Oh,
Fucking-
Jesus, from Divinity.
Oh,
From
God.
Divinity, yeah,
Divinity 1, yeah.
yeah,
I'm thinking of like tea leaf reading, but with cabbages.
yes.
That's
Okay,
probably some sort of divination thing that's going on, maybe, or just
I-
folk wisdom. I don't know.
I mean, I guess Tulip will go and look, and do I need to, like, perceive anything, or...
Do you feel like perceiving stuff is valuable or important here?
I feel like I need to be on the lookout for something special, so yes.
Zigga's gonna take what she's saying at face value, and when I say face value, I mean like assuming that this is a supernatural encounter that Chris seems to believe that it will be, and so he's gonna go out and try to find a cabbage that appeals to him.
That speaks to him.
Cool.
Yes.
Tulip, if you feel that it's important to be on the lookout, then please roll perception to find your cabbage. Oh.
Wow.
It takes you a few minutes, but you spot the one. You spot the
Cabbage.
cabbage. You know this one is the cabbage you're looking for.
I pick the cabbage, then.
Cool. Who
I
else
mean-
is going to pick a cabbage?
I guess, sure. Chris will look mildly bemused by her saying, just everyone go get a cabbage. But he'll, like, put down the lemonade and then just go, sure. And then get up, walk out, and he won't be looking, but instead he'll be trying to find the area where he feels least off kilter. Like,
Sure.
or actually even most off kilter
Okay.
is maybe better.
Do me an occultism check then.
Yeah. Da 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 da. Boop. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you get yourself a perturbing cabbage.
Yep.
Proper noun.
Yep. Perturbing.
Yes. Rev, what does B look for in a cabbage?
Sure. So she sees the others walking around the rows of cabbages and just like staring down at them. She's gonna get curious and ask them eventually. So once she's figured out what's going on, she's going to not think particularly hard about it because going by what the lady said, this is more of a like a feel thing than a specific thing that you're looking for as far as she's interpreting it. So she's gonna just kind of wander around, looking at the rows of cabbages and just, which she's probably done before, like for at the old farm,
Mm-hmm.
and just go kind of based on what she's feeling. Like if a wind seems to be bringing her a certain way, she'll go that way, and if one of them kind of stands out in her vision for whatever reason, she'll gravitate towards that, and then probably just pick one based on just instinct with head empty.
The thing here is that it isn't cabbage in the center. It's like a gotcha system, and we're
Yeah,
gonna
they all
find.
contain figurines of anime girls.
Yeah,
Oh, damn! What value?
So are you letting the natural forces dictate where you go, or are you letting random chance dictate where you go?
No, you could. I guess you could say, if you're looking for a check, then nature may be the one.
It's either basically it's either nature or just a d20, and we'll see what happens. Maybe d20 plus something, because that's how things scale in this game. Probably plus.
Maybe a flat.
Wisdom.
I would say it's more based on her, like, just her personality, just what she thinks is like kind of significant. So maybe a flat charisma check.
Yeah, I could get behind that. Okay, sure. And Zigger, what's motivating Zigger to pick a cabbage?
So I was looking over my skills to see what I could do to feasibly feasibly make this work, and none of my skills are particularly useful for this exact situation, other than potentially like using her facial expressions as she watches me to determine where I go. Like reading micro expressions and stuff like that.
Playing hot and cold with her face, basically. is
Yes,
your guy.
exactly.
Okay.
Damn it! I knew I should have taken cabbage lore instead.
Cabbage lore.
Cabbage lore. Okay, that if you do want to do that, that's gonna be perception.
Okay.
This lady is just happy to have guests and to see you pick a cabbage.
Yeah, apparently.
As far as she's concerned, there's no right or wrong.
The other thing is, are we supposed to be picking a cabbage for Trevor?
Oh no, he's out. He's gonna go out and
Oh,
do
he's doing it himself,
Yeah,
is he?
yeah.
Sure.
He got like
Oh, wait.
10 minutes of sleep and then is pottering
rest.
around finding a cabbage.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have my mental guard up for this lady. Like I want to believe that she's like very altruistic.
Sure. She's not really giving you any indicator to which cabbage to pick, so failing all else, it'll be pretty random.
I was so tempted to take out my my tarot card equivalent and do a fortune telling check to figure out which cabbage to take.
No. Just close your eyes and spin around in a circle and yeet Tabit in a certain direction. Whatever.
I'm not gonna yeet Tabbit.
I
land
do-
on her feet.
I do like this idea.
I mean, you can
You
try
don't-
and yeet Tabit if you want.
You sling Tabit in a random direction, and whatever cabbage Tabit lands on, that's the one.
It just lands
Get a
on Trevor's
yowl-
face.
Friggin' yowling cats. Like,
Don't throw the cat.
I mean, Tabit does seem like she kind of deserves it.
Wow.
you throw the cat and like she breaks character briefly and goes, "You motherfucker!" And it's just as she flies off.
Well, the thing about cats, right, is that they have really sharp claws.
Yeah.
And the thing about Zigger's skin, right,
Is that it's skin?
is that it's skin.
Hey, I have really sharp claws in the forms of weapons.
Don't
I
fight
swear to God.
Tabbit.
Leave my goddamn
Leave
cat
the cat
alone.
alone. I'm nixing this animal abuse.
It's PvP, except it's PvP, PvE, PvP.
Oh no. Okay, so are you sticking with that result for picking your cabbage?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine.
cool. And Trevor will go out and he'll potter around for a few minutes, and then he'll go in a circle around one way and then the other way, and nod satisfied to himself and pick it and come back in, having done his own assessment in some form that this is the correct cabbage for him. And Gran will lead you all in and sit at a table and gesture to the group for someone to come forward and put their cabbage in front of her.
Oh, I like this. Ziggo will go first.
Okay.
Go for it.
And she's gonna put the cabbage in front of her and start just slowly peeling away the leaves.
Cabbage-based magic. I love it.
Yeah. It's Brassicamancer is the name
Oh my
of it.
god.
It has a name.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. And she's kind of nodding to herself, and she looks up at Zigger and is like, "You get into a lot of arguments, don't you?"
I try to, yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. You know, they can be very costly.
Sometimes.
It's a lot easier to just get along with people. She doesn't seem like she has a whole lot of time for you.
Okay, that's fine.
He's kind of nod along in agreement with Grand.
Chris will be looking the other way, like I don't do that.
No.
Just like
Okay,
staring
well-
absent-mindedly at his cabbage,
Yeah.
trying not to pay attention.
And she'll give you back your cabbage and be like, "You really should be very careful who you pick a fight with, young man."
I will try. And so he'll stand up and seems pretty satisfied with his cabbage reading.
Yeah. Feel free to eat that. You could use the nutrients.
Okay. Is Amber back at the moment, or is Amber still BRB?
Seems like still BRB.
I'm going to
BRB
assume
it
that
is.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris will look around at anyone else and be like, "Next."
He can volunteer. She would be. She is kind of curious and pretty excited about this whole thing.
Sure. And she'll sit down and do the same kind of ritual of slowly peeling away the leaves, and rather than the kind of knowing, like, yeah, I've seen this jackass before, kind of feeling that she was putting off, she suddenly seems to become very concerned, and she looks up at you a couple of times, like, "Oh, jeez, oh no."
She's like, what?
Oh dear, oh dear. Do try to keep your hopes up, won't you?
Amber's back.
She looks confused for a moment, and then her face falls a little bit. But she is going to say instead, I'm not sure what you mean.
And she gives you a very significant look that kind of raises the hairs on the back of your neck and really hits down to that deepest fear of, oh god, what does she mean?
Damn it. Didn't come to these cabinets for this level of trauma.
I know you do your best to take care of them, but just remember that not everything is your fault.
And she kind of shrinks into her chair a little bit at that. She doesn't really respond directly.
No hugs for B. Tulip hugs for B. Also, I'm back. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
She'll give you your cabbage back and give you a pat on the shoulder and pour you some more lemonade.
Chris
Yeah,
like
she-
watches
that-
this happen with mild concern playing out of his face because he's made that happen before in the past, no doubt, and he's like, "Wow, that touched a nerve. I don't do that very often."
He will silently sip at her lemonade slowly.
Mm-hmm. And Gram's gonna sit back down and be ready for the next reading.
Is everybody else gone?
No, both Chris and Tulip have not.
And Trevor.
B.
Oh, and
And
Trevor. Yep.
Zigger about
Um,
to stop being a delinquent.
Ziggus was the most insignificant, and I figured it was going to be, so that's why I went first.
Chris, would you like to go first?
Sure. And he kind of apprehensively puts the cabbage down on the table for her and sits down.
And she's going to slowly peel the leaves away and pause a couple of times,
Means-
looking a little confused, if anything, and kind of pick up a couple of the leaves that she's peeled and like almost double check that she's read the right thing. And she gets much deeper into your cabbage than the others. Like there's just the white heart of it left by the time she's done. And she kind
Chris
of
like gets more and more worried looking at this. You just watch it play out over his face, like,
and every now and then she's glancing up at you, and then at the others, and then at Tabbit, and then back at the cabbage. And she picks it up and checks the underneath of it where you pulled it off, and then just kind of gives it back to you without saying anything. Like
She says nothing.
nothing. She's like kind of shrugs and is like, what?
He like takes back the little core of the cabbage, looks at Tabbit, looks at her, and then sort of he gets like a very slight smile and goes, "No, I don't understand either," and then goes and sits back down.
Tabbit looks very amused at this.
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
arrangement.
exactly. Yeah, he's like, "No, I don't know either," and then goes and sits back down. And like, for once, I expect Tabbit sits on his lap and he gives her a scritch, like just for once.
Yeah. Okay, and then Tulip, I guess.
Yep, Tulip will set hers down.
Okay, and she will pull one leaf away, and then look up at you and be like, "You don't like hurting them, do you?"
No.
But you
You're
feel,
gonna reduce Tulip to tears immediately.
but you feel like you have to.
Tulip does not answer.
And unfortunately, sometimes in life you do have to. But as long as you make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. And she gives you your almost entirely whole cabbage back.
Oh. Okay. I guess Trevor. Tulip will throw Trevor into the chair.
Yes. And then Trevor sits down and she takes Trevor's cabbage and she peels one of the leaves away and there's a Brussels sprout under it.
Shit. The other people.
And she looks very confused and then she peels another leaf away and there's a floret of cauliflower under it. And then another one and there's a handful of mustard seeds.
Oh no.
And she's she was confused at Chris, but this is bewildering. This doesn't make any sense. And she almost looks a little bit scared of it because this is very evident like actual magic that's happening in front of her. This isn't like that kind of soft like mental divination-y style thing. Things are appearing in this cabbage. And Trevor's like half asleep on his chair. He's not paying any attention at all.
So it's not just him there. It's a whole bunch of other entities, potentially.
Almost kind of, yeah.
I see. I don't suppose you happen to know how to separate those, do you?
I don't know what this is. Who is he?
He's a mage that got kidnapped by some orcs while doing some work out in the forest, and Tulip will just tell her the story.
Oh my.
May or may not have gotten a little mixed up recently.
Oh my. This poor lad needs a lot of rest.
Yeah, he's having a
He
little
can't
bit of
get it at
trouble
the
getting
moment.
Oh dear. Well, maybe he can stay here a little while. It's nice and quiet here.
He does seem to be sleeping easier here? Question mark.
Oh, I don't mind keeping him Wow. Wow. Mag.
What?
I don't mind
Forward.
keeping him here a little while. If he doesn't mind sleeping on the floor, I can bring some blankets out. There's not a whole lot of room.
I think I have an extra, like, sleeping bag or something. But if he can hang out here and rest, that would be great.
Oh.
And
I
maybe
might-
he could benefit from some of your what was it, honey tea?
Oh yes, I have a wonderful recipe for honey tea.
Well, I've heard.
And can everyone do me a perception?
Okay.
And
Also, sorry, carry on.
and also, David, could you do me an occult?
As an aside, also, damn it, Rev, that's kind of mean. Just
What do you
seen
mean?
that post. Uh,
Well, it was mostly the first part that I was referring to, not the spilled milk part.
sure.
The
Oh,
quote
that's a great perception check. And you need an occultism out of
Yes.
me. Boom.
Okay. So, Zigger, that second roll from you, that was that, right? Because it's not labeled.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So Zigger and Chris, you both are starting to get the idea that maybe she's not all entirely here. Like not just
Yeah,
in a magical
really?
sense, but like it's a little bit dementia-y. Her manner of speaking and the way she's behaving. And also Chris specifically, because you are as trained in occultism as you are, you know that without proper training and without proper structure, this is something that can happen to people who are heavily involved in divination type magics. They can start to kind
Yeah.
of lose track of memories and of senses. And this lady has presumably been out here for quite a while on her own, just carefully, quietly practicing Brassicamancer, and it's kind of slipped away from her. She seems to be, keeping herself alive well enough. She seems fairly content. The place is clean, and she seems fed. But
Is she a hoarder?
No. Apart from the massive field of cabbages that she somehow has.
Oh, she's hoarding cabbages.
Yeah, but it's almost like if a particularly long-lived individual, someone who maybe extended their lifespan, got into this kind of state, they would become more of a spirit of the area than a person.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And she's kind of in that twilight transitive state of almost getting towards that.
Makes sense. I mean, it should be safe for him to stay here for a bit, and she probably, like, because of her age and how long she's been doing this, she is probably better suited to help him than any of us are anyway.
Even if she doesn't quite know that she's doing it.
Yeah, in the same way that she doesn't realize that she's doing something inherently magical here anyway.
Maybe her cabbage fancy has healing cabbage powers in it too.
More likely that her quote unquote honey tea will actually be a potion of some description that resolves his memory issues.
Yeah, it's some kind of long tail restorative.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, it's entirely mundane, and yet the mundane properties of it still soothe him better than what seemingly non-treatment he was receiving at the university.
No, it is well known that the best treatment for magical explosive crystal lacerations is honey.
Yep.
Honey and thyme.
But like Chris's assumption is that the reason why she didn't quite get it is because she's maybe confused because she's seeing kind of what she does in him but doesn't understand why.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines. Like she's looking for someone else and it feels like she's looking in a mirror.
And also, like, most people not as involved with kind of witchly patronage, their stories are going to be much easier to read for someone who is involved in that stuff. But the source of her magic is the same as the source of your magic, like in a cousin kind of relationship.
Yep.
So the powers kind of play off each other, and it becomes more of a branching tale than a linear one from that perspective. So she dug all the way to the bottom of what she could see and couldn't really make heads or tails of what was actually going to happen for you.
Well, with that out of the way, I could I could offer to read her fortune for her.
Oh, would you, dear? That would be lovely.
Sure, he'll like take out the because I actually have the thing,
You
the
do
Harrow
have the
deck,
thing. You have the Harrow deck. Does the Harrow
which
deck come with
is
mechanics?
sort of it's it's not like it doesn't actually change anything, but you need one realistically to do fortune telling, as far as I can tell.
Sure.
Like the really high level ones give you bonuses and stuff, but they're incredibly expensive.
They are very expensive, yeah.
So I'll just do a fortune telling and
Okay.
see if I can actually get a decent roll off it.
Do me-
Because I may as well.
Do me a lore fortune telling on that, actually, because I want to see you
Which-
use that that skill.
Boom.
Okay. The first card you pull is,
Yep.
is blank.
Oh.
There aren't any blank cards in a Harrow deck.
No, there aren't. And he'll sort of put the card down and be like, "It's fine," and he'll pull another card,
Yeah, that's blank.
and then he'll turn over the because you do 3 usually when you tarot
Yeah.
read, right? Don't you?
The simplest tarot read, I believe, is 3, yes.
And he'll pull a third card.
And that is also blank.
Hmm. And he'll like check through the deck. Are there any more blank cards?
The cards that you pulled are still on the table?
Yep.
They are all blank.
Hey, you've done the same thing as she did.
Well, sorry, miss. My deck appears to be arguing with me, and he'll just like show her a set of blank cards.
Oh, it's very
And
strange,
then he'll-
dear. Don't they normally have pictures and stuff on them?
They do actually, yeah. And then he'll like fan them back together,
Yeah.
pick the cards back off the table, shuffle it up, and then fan them back out again.
Yeah, they're normal.
Hmm.
Completely normal.
Looks like I don't know your story either. And he will like fan them back together and put them back in his bag.
Gosh, that's very strange. I hope that doesn't mean anything bad.
What
I'm
does
sure
blank
it's fine,
mean
miss.
for his deck? Like, what would that mean?
Well, it's kind of the same in that. Well, it could mean multiple things in the sense that I'm trying to do a reading on someone who isn't altogether there. It could mean that I'm trying to do a reading on a person who's in between being a person and not a person. So it's kind of hard to do that.
Yeah, I was
Um,
just like wondering if you sat down in front of, like, let's say a statue or something like that, and you tried to do a tarot reading for a statue. Presumably, you would get a normal tarot reading. Like it would
I don't think it would work at all. Or rather, I would flip cards, but there wouldn't be any meaning to them because tarot readings are about like fates and fortunes of people, not objects.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm trying to.
I mean,
Well, does she count as a person anymore? And I don't mean that in like a. Yeah, I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but like.
Yeah, I know what you
Does she
mean.
count as a person subject
For
to
the
the
per-
whim of fate?
yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, like for agency purposes, does she
Yeah.
count as a person?
I mean, I see. Do I have any idea what's going on with that? Like, have I seen it before?
I'm gonna step away for just a bit. I should be able to still hear.
Sure.
Sure.
You almost certainly haven't seen it before, but it is the kind of thing that you've heard of in folk tales and fairy tales. It's one of the kind of questionably optimal, they lived happily ever after kind of endings for them a lot of the time. Like the old man who tends to a forest for all of his life and then becomes a guardian spirit of that forest. That could be that is seen as quite a noble thing in that kind of story.
Sure. And if you tried to give him a tarot reading, the cards would just be like, nope.
In some form, yeah, it probably wouldn't work because they're not really
For that.
They're less people and more forces of nature at that point.
Mm.
Like if you try to give a tarot reading for a proper like undead ghost, that would probably work.
Yep.
But this is a different kind of post life, I guess.
Just to knock one
That's-
more possibility out, can we assume that Chris and his mother have done like just kind of playful tarot readings of for each other at some point, or was that something that he picked up later by himself?
So basically all of the stuff that he has become specialized in, my assumption was that he got them at least the seeds were planted when he was a kid, so he was taught them by his mum.
So they potentially do tarot readings together? Of each
Yeah,
other?
Yeah.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
And I imagine that probably worked normally to some extent.
Yep. I mean, he uses tarot readings to earn his money, and they work fine there.
Right.
And like you can read your own, I believe, and I imagine Chris does every now and then, and they will have come up fine.
Fair enough.
Chris being a different perspective on his own life, of course, that would change things. And Graham being external to the relationship with the patron, can't quite see it as clearly.
Yep. That's yeah. So that's interesting. I mean, if she said, as she said, like, I hope that doesn't mean anything bad. His response will be, "No, I'm sure I'm just not good enough at this, miss." And then he'll like put his cards back in his bag.
The sight is a difficult craft. It can take years. It can take a lifetime to master.
Maybe my mum could have done it, but not me.
Oh, I'm sure she was a lovely lady.
Chris like smiles and then wanders off. He's like, I don't want to have this conversation.
Fair.
He's still like kind of curled up on the chair. It's like, I've already had this conversation.
She's gonna see that B's still very distraught, and then gives you
I'm
another
fine
pat on the shoulder and makes you a sandwich.
Sure. Would Tabit be willing to be borrowed for a couple minutes?
Like I would imagine actually, she's not mean. Like if she sees you like actually distressed, she'll sort of wander over and nuzzle at you a little bit. Like, can I get the pets? Like it's just like it's not entirely altruistic, but
You've got what it is currently, I think, is Tabit is in the middle, and then B is curled up around Tabit, and then Tulip is curled up around B, and then Tulip is sat on a couch.
I see. It spoons all the way down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a therapy animal.
Yes. Well, she's happy to host you for as long as you'd like to stay.
Okay. I mean, I expect we'll stay until everyone calms their nerves a bit, and then we'll say goodbye to Trevor and leave him there for now, and wander back to town.
If we can get out of the hedge. If we do go outside, do we see an opening again?
Oh yeah, it's there.
Okay.
Any input from Tulip? Specifically, I'm thinking on leaving Trevor here.
I mean, she would try to see if she could get him awake enough to let him know what was going on and chat about it.
He's bleary, but he's conscious, just about.
And what does he think about staying there for a bit?
It's the first place I've managed to get any sleep in like 6 days. So yeah, I guess I just want to sleep. I'm very tired.
All right, Tulip will get out her spare little sleeping bag and just make sure he's comfortable.
Oh, thank you. And he's out again, like a light.
I guess with that, then, we should head on out.
Oh, well, thank you for coming, dears, and thank you for bringing those seeds. They're much needed.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your hospitality.
Oh,
Yes.
anytime,
Yes.
dears.
She was nearly out of cabbages, so it's a good thing we got the seeds.
Yeah, exactly.
And as you go back outside in the back, the cabbage field looks completely finite.
Oh, okay.
Completely finite.
Yeah, it ends in another hedge, and it looks like a normal cabbage field, but for the 5 spaces that are now missing one.
Okay, interesting.
Maybe that was the payment for our divinations.
Mm.
Chris is
Mm.
still carrying the cabbage core. He's only got a core of a cabbage.
I expect to see that in your inventory before the next session.
Okay. Details.
Details. Cabbage.
We'll be putting it
Funky
as one thing.
cabbage core.
Having calmed down a bit, Bee will be her usual chipper self, and she'll say to Gran Gran, "It was very nice meeting you." And she'll add, "Will we see you again?"
Oh, if you come and visit again, dear, I'd love to have you.
And
we should
she
probably come
nods
back
and
and check
says,
on Trevor.
"Mhm."
Cool. We all have more PTSD. Let's go.
I don't know. I was fine.
Zigger is unperturbed by the entire situation.
Yeah, that's cool. The rest of us are just like, oh god, the sin's crawling down my back.
Oh no.
Actually, Chris is like weirded out by where we are and what was going on, but there wasn't much trauma for him here.
Yeah, he got a reminder. No need.
Yeah.
Got some prodding.
Yeah, Tulip got poked right in the pride, just like, oh, you don't like killing people, do you? It's like, no. But
It
I'm
wasn't like that.
barbarian."
It wasn't
I
like
know.
that.
I know, but like, how else would how
But
else
he's
is
so
Tulip supposed
good
to
at it.
Yeah.
It's like shoves it in her face. Look at this cognitive dissonance. Look at it.
Yeah. You're just a big
Why
old
are you-
murder girl, aren't you? Fucking murder girl. Just murdering
You're so
people.
good at killing.
You are very
Thank
good at
you.
killing.
Thank you, I hate it.
Okay.
Oh.
So, on leaving the cabbage farm, where would you like to go? You no longer have Trevor.
Well, we're not halfway, but we're a quarter of the way already to that town to the west.
Normally we take like a caravanning like quest between places, right? Like we guard a caravan or something.
That
How
has
late
been
is it?
your modus operandi, but you aren't bound to it. You can just wander around if you want.
How late is it?
Probably just a bit past midday. It wouldn't have taken long to get to the farm, and you didn't really spend that long there. About 50 clicks.
Rather than thinking in 2 dimensions, we could think in 3 dimensions and go straight up instead of in a cardinal direction.
What, you want to fly?
Yeah, just straight up in the air.
Well, if you've got a scroll of Icarian flight hanging around in your background, you're going to don your
Icarian
Colovian
flight.
fur hair and then fall down in front of the next protagonist.
You can smuggle in a
Jump-
rock egg, and then we
Jump all the way over here to this like peninsula, and then fucking die.
And then die, yeah.
He is going to say that we might want to nip back to town to get another bedroll for Tulip, but if not, we could just go there because she didn't find any jobs anyway. And if that's still the case, then maybe there's not much point in going back there for now.
I mean, Tulip's fine, just going straight away.
Okay. Out of character, I'm also fine with that. B will just make these suggestions basically. Or bring these things.
Where do we actually want to go then?
Maybe the forestry town to the west. It's closer.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Sounds good to
guess.
me.
I'm gonna guess that lumber is their primary export.
Yes. Lumber and other wooden goods.
Deer skin and whatnot.
Yeah. Deer skin, antlers, truffles, I guess. They grow in woods, right? In tree roots.
Yeah, various foresty things.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Cool. Okay.
That is the plan. We're going that way.
And what will you be aiming to do there?
I think the primary purpose for us going there was to just get out of Norhel.
Sure.
Yeah, I think there's less of a focus we need to be here right now, and more of a let's not
Let's not
be
be
here.
there. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think that was the general intention. Maybe we could look for work there if people need something done.
Mhm.
I could always read the fortunes to see where we should go. Do. Yeah. Anyway.
Just out of curiosity, what do we know about this northern forest? It's obviously massive.
Yes, it's big. Um,
Full of trees.
Full of trees. There's deer in it and a lot of birds. It does cross the river and indeed cross out of the country. Other than that, there's a big old forest. In the deep bits of it, there's probably magical shit hiding around.
I was just wondering, like, there is noticeably not a route between those two unnamed cities.
Yes.
And I was wondering, does travel take place between those two unnamed cities?
Not really, though without some further investigation, you don't know whether that's because there's a horrible thing between them or because it's just not really needed.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, like, looking at a in-game map, Ziga is not articulating it to the rest of the party, especially not B, but is thinking if we went directly through that path, we could get to Flaxfield pretty easy after that.
He is very happy that they're going somewhere that has no, for once, has no direct link with that whole thing. That might come as an unpleasant surprise later on in character.
I mean, we have always, since we started, been moving towards where the big Gribbly appeared, which may have been slightly intentional.
Yeah. But it's just a forestry town. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Tourists, basically.
Okay. I suppose we'll call it there.
Yeah.
And
Good 6
I will have to figure out something to do in that
present
town.
with. Yeah, sorry not to give you any major hook to go with there,
Nah, it's
but
fine. It's fine. I wanted to give you an opportunity to really push a personal goal if you had one you wanted to push as a group. But if everyone's happy durdling around a little longer, then I'll come up with something.
Yeah, I think we're all like, I mean, with my personal hooks, they're all like not time dependent, and so that mine can just sit and simmer.
I mean, my assumption is like because most of Chris's hooks are to do with the overarching whatever the heck is going on, and my assumption is that we're not going to find the answers to that for a while. So all he can really do is move from place to place and try and find anyone that knows anything about it. And we've kind of gone to the most useful source of information in know-how and been promptly told to fuck right off.
Yes.
So actually, perhaps he's best off going somewhere remote where ordinals or whatever don't have so much of a grip on people, and maybe
Yeah.
someone will talk to him. So he's a-okay going to like towns in the middle of the woods, or this one down here, or just anything.
Yeah.
Or in fact, back home.
The highest ranking church person in that town is maybe a bishop. Like it won't have anything particularly fancy going on in it.
Like truthfully, the place that Chris most wants to go is here. And see what is going on. But yeah.
What did you ping? I actually wasn't zoomed out far enough. Okay.
The site.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah. Sorry.
I think B's hooks or B's motivations right now are more reactive than anything, at least at this current phase of things. Probably will change down the line, but right now she's just like, yeah, let's not do that kind of thing. If something happens to kind of force her to either reconsider that worldview or mostly that, I guess, at this point, then she'll probably take a more proactive approach. But for now, it's just like,
if you want another possible like character hook, assumedly because of all these like things that Chris was taught as a kid, his mum must have been part of some cult or or like
True.
society or something. So he would likely want to speak to them if he possibly could at some point about like A, what they do, and B, whether they know why this happened, or because they're kind of underground, so they're more likely to be able to tell him something that the church doesn't want people to know. So that's something he will be looking out for? Question mark.
Sure.
Maybe there's a plot thread for you there.
Maybe, yeah. I want to find something slightly longer term than session to session, but not as long term as the Mortifer. Like
Okay.
something
Well,
that
there's some
can
thinking as well,
that can arc maybe a couple of levels even.
for sure. I think I'll do some thinking over this week.
Yeah.
See if I can get you something.
I mean, maybe he would have to earn his entry into that group, so they would give him something to do. There's a couple of levels worth of shit, probably.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the kind of issues with the disconnect between when we started and where we are, is that our plot hooks are all summarily tied up in our family all died in an explosion of death and sadness.
Yes.
So
and like Zigga does have some stuff that's a bit more in that wheelhouse, but in order to really get to it, you kind of have to go back to the capital.
That, and also like it's also involving antagonizing the church more than likely, and we
a
just
bit,
happened
yeah.
antagonizing the church, and so we're trying to avoid doing that for the time being.
Yeah,
So
don't break the law while you're breaking the law, etc.
yeah.
right.
So
I tried to set my stuff apart so that it wasn't like specifically to do with the Mortifer. I mean, my stuff does have a lot to do with the Mortifer by nature of the fact that we are survivors of an explosion that killed all of our
yeah.
But it's not explicitly about that.
No. I do have some ideas for that, but I want to do some stuff with your boss first.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end up there at some point.
Okay. Well, we're heading that direction, so it'll come sooner rather than later, I think.
Yeah. Unless you end up going through Aragog's lair or something.
Aragog.
watch next time on Flaxfield Fable.
Ah, the title drop!
Da, 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 da. Oh dear.
Wonderful.
Oh, thanks for running. That was fun.
Yes, thank you for playing.
Sure. I like the cabbages. The part with all the cabbages.
Yes.
Especially the cabbage-shaped lady.
I suppose she was cabbage shaped, wasn't she? That wasn't intentional.
I didn't clock that either.
Well, it's probably all water weight anyway.
Probably. There's a lot of water in cabbages after all.
That's true, yeah. All right, then I suppose we will see everyone else next week.
Yes, I expect so.
Sounds good. I'll catch you later.
Bye.
guys.
Catch you later.
Bye.